Salutations, adventurers! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. And today, we're doing a one-shot, and surprise, surprise, I'm in a different part of the screen than usual. I am not going to be the person running the game, but I am still the person in charge of Roll for Felicity. for other streams, if you're new here, my name is Taylor. I use she, her pronouns. Like I mentioned, I'm usually the person who's running stuff on Roll for Felicity. And also the person who is supposed to come up with an icebreaker question for us to introduce all of ourselves. The question for tonight, because we're playing the game Totally Normal Human Roommates, unrelated to that, our question is our favorite supernatural being, because of course we're not playing any kind of supernatural beings, we're all just playing normal people. But that being said, I think right now I'm on a real Mothman kick. I think that's probably one of my favorite supernatural beings. And I'm running a game of Monster Hearts right now off stream, and there's an NPC who's secretly Mothman, and none of the players know. So if you're in my Monster Hearts game and you're watching this, there's a hint for you. But I'm gonna throw it over to my players for them to all introduce themselves. I should say my guests, because I guess we all are players, but I guess you're not my players tonight. We're all pawns in Zay's little schemes. So I'll throw it over to them to introduce themselves first. Zay, do you want to tell everyone who you are and who your favorite supernatural being is?
Yes, hello everyone. Yes, thanks for making sure everyone is aware that I have conned some of my best friends into playing a very silly little game with me. My name is Zay. My pronouns are they, them. I play way too many RPGs, and sometimes I write them, including the game that we are playing tonight, Totally Normal Human Roommates. You have stolen, once again, my answer to the question. But since despite my proximity, since you've stolen Mothman, I'm gonna say werewolves. I'm big on werewolves recently, after I did some writing a script involving some werewolves. Very, very in the werewolf mood. Plus, we're all in love with the moon anyway, so
yeah,
anything connected to the moon.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer.
Yes, please applaud. Everyone should applaud for me at all times.
Everyone in chat, applause in chat. Cass, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, hi, I'm Cass. My pronouns are they, them. And my favorite supernatural creature is the Loveland Frogman. There are multiple frogmen in Loveland, and it is near and dear to my heart as I am in Ohio, and we don't have a lot of supernatural creatures that originate from here.
Yeah, that's also a good answer. Now I have to do it for everybody. Good answer. Claps for the frogman. Melanie, do you want to introduce yourself to everybody and let us know what supernatural creature you like?
I would love to. Hello, my name is Helene Damdrews, and I'm a totally normal human being. And my pronouns are she, her, and I'm thrilled and chilled to play with these ghouls and goblins. My favorite supernatural being, would probably have to be the Baba Yaga. She's just super cool old woman living in the house on chicken legs. And I love how in some stories she, is the big bad, and sometimes she's the person who helps out our main character, and she's just a very, very cool character.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good answer.
I feel like we're in some sort of like cult when we're like, oh yes, everything you do, applause.
I have been playing Cult of the Lamb on stream, so maybe that's bleeding into my everyday life. Alex, do you want to introduce yourself and let us know what your favorite supernatural being is?
Yes. Hi, I'm Alex. He, him pronouns. I think if I'm just gonna go with like the scariest one, I think is a skinwalker.
Yeah.
Those are pretty in concept, pretty terrifying. So I would go with that or chupacabra.
Yeah. I do like
Go to you.
chupacabra. Also, chupacabra pretty new, I found out recently. Like, I always thought they were like a very old like cryptid or like supernatural being, but like I think the first like chupacabra, like the origination of it, is in like the 90s or something. So like not not as old as I thought. I'm pretty sure because they're the ones who like eat livestock and stuff, right? I think it's relatively new. I could be getting it mixed up with something else. But that's all of us introduced. I'm going to mention some stuff that if you're watching right now, you can do to help the channel and help all of us. The first thing you can do is if there's something that happens during the stream that you think would be fun to see a clip of, but you don't want to make a clip in Twitch, which is, you know, especially if you're watching on mobile, kind of annoying to do, and also you'll miss out some of what's happening. You can put !marker in chat. That'll make a marker for me to go back later and make a clip of that moment. Super helpful because I am bad at motivating myself to edit things. So if there's a bunch of markers, that's way easier for me, and I'll go back and do it. Also, hello, Savory! Good to see you in chat. The other thing you can do is there are some different things you can do with channel points. So the little sparkling water emote that's in the bottom of your chat screen, you can click on that, and there's some different things that you can do that can affect the game. You can also do some tips, tip rewards. For $2 or 200 bits, you can give one player a +1 to a roll, or you can give Zay a -1 that they can use whenever they'd like, forcing us to fail. Or for $5 or 500 bits, you can give each of us a +1, or you can give Zay 4 -1s that they can use whenever they'd like. Or for 1,000 bits or $10, you can do something just to like kind of complicate our lives as player characters. Some kind of big twist, kind of just giving Zay carte blanche to do something bad. Which I think that sounds
I'm begging
fun.
all of you to donate simply so that I can make this much more difficult on them. It will be very funny if they fail any rolls.
Yes, failing rolls is like a fun part of the game, so definitely don't feel bad if you want to use the -1 option. That's totally fun to do. You can either use Twitch's currency of bits to tip that, or there is a link to my Ko-fi in chat. Either way would be the same thing. So $2, $5, or $10 to do those things. The last thing you can do, congratulations, if you're hearing my voice right now, you're already doing it. Thank you so much for watching the stream, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching the VOD later on YouTube. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you enjoy our game tonight. And normally, this is the point where I would start talking about the game that we're going to play, but the person who wrote the game is here. So I'm going to like throw it over to them to talk about the game, and then also after that, we'll just start playing.
Yeah, that's me. We are playing tonight a game called Totally Normal Human Roommates because I refuse to give any game a normal name or anything longer than like 5 words. So yes, we were playing Totally Normal Human Roommates, a very silly party role-playing game. So it's the game designed for you to be able to pick up and just play with who you've got. Not a lot of prep needed. Character creation is very simple. There are a list of possible scenarios for you to use if you are the keeper of the game, the GM. This is a 1-page, so, you know, pick it up, jump right into it. On that note, I've done very little prep tonight because that's how I do everything. I'm winging life. I'm going to wing this game. And I wanted to show you that you can just pick this up and get going. So I just have a rough list of ideas to give you just a peek behind the curtain. And we are going to see what ideas come up and what trouble our players get into. All of our players tonight are playing variations of completely normal human beings, obviously, Just because some of them have fangs and sleep upside down in the closet doesn't make them not a normal human. Yes, some of them have to, disappear during a full moon. It's fine. Some people just like covering themselves in bandages completely. It's normal. It's not weird. Stop acting like it's weird. And these very normal humans all live in an apartment building in the big city, full of other people like them. Unfortunately, the city is not full of people like them, and they need to keep that a secret. So, I think we are ready to get right into it, unless you would like to have the players introduce their characters first.
Up to you, but I do need to say Xavery did just tip $15. So, which is the Xavery / Peebs effect. Peebs! Shout out to Peebs. Even though Xavery's not playing tonight. I'll say that's Xavier, let me know if you want, for the extra $5, if you want to have the players have a +1 that they can use, or if you want to give Zay a bunch of -1s that they can use. Let me know in chat. But Zay, you do have, whenever you want to introduce some big plot element, encouraged to make it as juicy as possible.
Yes. I know exactly what will happen. And Xavier, thank you so much.
Thank you, Xavery, so much for supporting the channel. Zay, it's up to you whether you want us to introduce our characters or if you have like some, setup that you want to do, and then we can introduce our characters. That's whatever you want.
We'll have you introduce your characters in the game. I think once we get into, I've got a little introduction, I think, that can get us going.
Good.
So, if we're all ready.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Greetings, boos and ghouls, and welcome to the spookiest night of the year. It's that time of fear again. The leaves are dropping like flies, pumpkins are everywhere, and there's a kill in the air. It's October 31st, and everyone in the city has been preparing for weeks. Children, parents, partygoers, and people of a less natural persuasion. For some, it's an excuse to play devilish games and tricks. For others, a chance to party until they drop dead. For the youngest, a chance to dress up in costume and ask strangers for candy. And for the rest of you, a horrid night of confronting your worst fears. Children in cheap costumes begging you for treats. The city is awash in decorations. Jack-o'-lanterns in windows, skeletons on stoops, garlands of bats covering storefronts. Everywhere you turn, there are people of all kinds and costumes of all kinds. The air is full with a buzz of excitement. But come with me now. Down a quiet street to a quaint little neighbor blood full of perfectly normal people. Most of them, anyway. The roads here are closed off, and the whole street is decked out in spooky decor. Tables of food, drinks, and candy fill the street. Games of fiendly competition are everywhere. The only rule? Eat, drink, and be scary. The thrill shriekers on this street really know how to party, and everyone is expected to show up and pitch in. I'm sure you're all dying to be there. But now, if you'll look to your right, you'll see an ordinary looking old apartment building, the only one not covered in seasonal decorations. While the rest of the street is loud and proud, this one is quiet as a tomb. The residents of this building hate this season for the mockery it makes of their cultures. And parties? Well, these folks have never gotten the fang of it. Whether they like it or not, even the totally normal residents of this building are expected to show up at this shindig. And costumes are mandatory, so they'd better come dressed to kill. Because bad news, creeps. It's Halloween. And now, I would like all of you to let me know what you are doing to prepare for Halloween. Please introduce your characters, what type of human you are, and what you're doing to prepare costumes. Food is expected for you to bring food to the street party. What games are you preparing? Would anyone like to go first, or shall I pick on one of you?
I'll go first. I think that first of all, everyone in chat is loving that description. So we got standing ovations going. Great intro. I am tonight playing Frankie, who uses she, her pronouns, and is a constructed human. And I think getting ready for tonight, I think she's been pretty busy all, like, I don't know what time of day, like, we're starting at, but whatever the first part of the day is, she was really busy, like, making some, like, baked goods and, like, treats and things like that. Actually, would she make baked goods? I guess that's not a fire. Oh, wait, it's electricity. I don't, maybe she wouldn't.
Yeah, if you're using...
Maybe she wouldn't be doing baked goods. I forget what my weaknesses are.
Yes, just to explain very briefly to the audience, all of our different types of humans have special strengths and weaknesses related to their various skills. And when they roll with a situation involving one of their strengths, they'll add +1 to their roll. When they roll with a situation applying to one of their weaknesses, they will subtract 1. And they have a few +1s currently that they can add to that.
I think it's still baked goods. I think that's separated far enough from electricity. It's not like I'm getting, like, an electric shock. So I think, so she's been, like, making some baked goods and things like that to, like, give out to the children. And so that was, like, her morning, like, maybe very early in the morning. So I think when we see her at the beginning of this, you know, after this description, she is asleep on the couch. She's very tall, so I think definitely her feet are going, like, past the edge of the couch. Her arm is kind of, like, off to one side. She wears wigs, so is, like, normally kind of has, like, some very patchy short hair. But I think the wig I think she's taken it off to take the nap, so there's, like, kind of a wig over, like, the back of the couch, and she's just kind of sleeping zonked out. I think that's how we first see her.
Yeah, I think, just real quick, why don't you roll me a mundanity roll to see how well those baked goods came out? That's pretty
okay.
game thing. While you do that, I'll explain to the audience real quick that our characters have 3 stats. They have prowess, charm, and mundanity. Each one has a die, either a d4, a d6, or a d8 assigned to it. So Taylor will let us know what die she has assigned to her mundanity skill and give us a roll. Any roll of 4 or higher is a success.
Frankie is middling with mundanity, so it's a d6 for the roll. I did get a 5 though, so it is a success.
Excellent. Yeah, so we can pan over to these baked goods that you made sitting on the counter. What did you make? They came out pretty well.
Trying to think of a pun. And my mind is just coming up with absolutely nothing. So I think some like brownies, and some.
Do they have any blueberries in them?
No, probably no blueberries in the brownies, but maybe some blueberry muffins, I think. And then I think she's made some little, like, mini pumpkin pies, but they're decorated to look like she's put, like, some white chocolate, like a little white chocolate disc in the center to make it look like an eyeball. Yeah, I think that's kind of what she's made. And it's all, like, sitting out on the counter, like they're all cooling. And I think there's, like, a sign, like a paper note, like, taped to the counter that's written in very poor handwriting. Like, do not touch for party. But she's not guarding her right now because she's asleep.
Is anyone in the apartment tempted by these wonderful baked goods? Alco, I saw a hand go up there.
I can explain what Alco is doing if you'd like.
Absolutely, I would.
So Alco, Frankie, if you are done explaining. Perfect. So Alco has woken up from their daily nap in a closet. They find the hall closet to be the most comfortable, the most dark. It's not by any windows. Just, they like to sleep. They can't have any light when they sleep. It's a very totally normal human thing to do. Some people can't sleep when light is hitting them. So Alco has awoken and trudged on over to the couch. He sees Frankie sleeping there with the wig on the back and just kind of nods to himself, takes a sip of the mysterious red liquid that he has in his goblet. And
Cranberry juice, probably.
Yeah.
I also love the casual goblet reveal.
And as usual, he's in a very he's very well dressed. He has a bathrobe on over a 3-piece brocade suit. He has a tie, a cravat, just a very beautiful ruby right next to his neck. Long blonde hair is flowing as he walks to the kitchen and then kind of hangs himself upside down from the rafters, as one human does, snatches a pumpkin pie and starts eating it upside down.
Very good. Very good. Spike or Bo, would you like to introduce yourself?
I can go ahead and go first. So Spike is an elderly human, basically not a zombie, a mummy, and he right now he's probably getting his costume ready. Okay, so when I say elderly, this guy's ancient, and he's basically skin and bones. Like that's all. He's very frail looking, hunched over. He's got a cane, but he's dressed up as a cowboy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think he's also has a congregation of bugs, like just a bunch of different types of bugs, and he's talking to them. Yeah, just in the corner somewhere, just being a lone wolf.
Yeah, you don't really have like a roach problem in your apartment in the normal sense, but there are lots of bugs around.
A scarab problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a scarab infestation, but it is under control.
You know that
Technically.
vine with the old guys who were like, I want to be a cowboy, babe. but a mummy.
Yeah, there you go. And I didn't realize I needed that character concept in my life until 30 seconds ago, and I'm so happy. Bo, what are you up to?
So speaking of Spike getting into his costume, at this moment, the door to Bo's room slams open, and they come kind of tumbling out, wrapped in like a fish net, like an actual fisherman's net, being like, so this whole finding a sexy outfit for a party is proving to be very difficult. I tried covering myself in full fishnets, and this just seems ridiculous. And their appearance is, yes, definitely they appear. And human? For sure. You know exactly what they look like, and it is of a normal person. The brain does a funny thing, filling in blanks for things it can't understand. So people for sure see Bo and know what they look like. Regular, ordinary even. Spike, what do you think that Bo looks like to you?
Oh shoot, I can't get that picture of the one that you sent in Discord.
With the strong legs.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like a normal like sheet sort of ghost with the holes for eyes, and then just really buff legs. I think. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So I think that they're just tangled up. Pronouns, any. Yeah, they're just trying to figure out their costume. I think at that point, probably the way that I slam into the room, because I also have like a lot of chains underneath, like a lot of keys and stuff. Bo is a spectral human and has a real affinity for chains and any rattly bits that they can get their hands on. So it makes quite a cacophonous sound when they come into the room.
Yeah, Frankie definitely is laying down on the couch and then very slowly sits up and is just like, why are you being so loud right now?
Oh, sorry, Frankie.
I've been trying to take a nap, and first it's you doing that, and then and like gets up and like goes over to check on her treats and desserts, make sure that they're all accounted for.
Yeah, everything looks fine, except there's like one spot on the counter suspiciously empty and a weird trail of crumbs on the floor.
I start stomping, following the trail of crumbs.
I think they're mostly concentrated on the kitchen floor. Just a weird little pile of them.
I look accusingly at the other three. Who here ate my, what is it? It looks like a blueberry muffin. Which one of you ate a blueberry muffin?
Spike looks at his congregation of bugs. He's just like, did one of you do this?
The bugs.
Jeremy, did you do this?
Jeremy sort of does a little wiggle that you know means no. It's a little shake.
But is it like a coy little wiggle? No.
No, it's a very nervous, like... Look, there are a lot of people moving around this apartment. It's not big enough to hold at least the 5 of you that live here. And, you know, life's dangerous for a little scarab in this apartment. So they are on their best behavior as much as possible.
It wasn't any of us. I don't think.
I've been in my room all day.
I think Frankie looks at Alco, but Alco probably doesn't eat food like at all, right? I guess
no,
it's up to you.
Alco eats food.
Okay, so looks at Alco with her eyes narrowed and says, "Did you eat my blueberry muffin? I really politely asked everyone not to." She's like on the verge of tears.
I did not eat blueberry muffin. I do not like blueberry muffin. I do have pumpkin pie though. That was very good.
Like a very big tear forms on Frankie's face and like plops to the ground.
Why you no put note? I see note. You know I cannot read English.
I should have thought of that. I should have thought that. What language do you read?
I read no language, just Russian.
I don't know how to write in Russian. Okay, next time I'll draw some pictographs.
I cannot read pictograph. What is pictograph? That is weird English word you make up.
It's just drawings. I'll just draw something.
I can show you. I could show you how to do pictograms. Pretty good at those. Pretty good.
Yes, but yours don't have anything to do with. I don't think Alco is gonna understand. You know, a drawing of a bird means the letter A.
I'll make it work.
I think at this point, the one of your fellow roommates comes out of her room. This is your roommate Huck, very hairy human, and you can tell she's got a weird sort of uniform on, weird little hat, and she's like, "All right, how's my costume look? Are we all ready?"
What kind of hat?
I think they
Just
just
like-
said a weird little hat.
That's enough information. I think that's all you needed to go on.
Okay, can you give me like shape or color or anything?
I
What
think-
are you supposed to be, Huck?
I'm a dog warden.
A dog word?
Warden.
Ward.
It's
Of a what is that?
it's a joke. You wouldn't. It's funny to me. You're nobody else. Okay. Are you all ready?
I get it. And I turn to the rest of them like,
Are we? We've got to get down there. People are gonna start wondering where we're at.
I do not know why we have to go to silly human function. Why cannot we stay inside?
People are gonna get suspicious if we don't show up.
We eat people who's suspicious. There is good plan.
Look, that's gonna draw a lot of attention that we do not want. Okay, we just gotta keep our heads down and get through this night like we do every year. We show up, we put in a little appearance, we keep the neighborhood happy. They still think we're weirdos, but you know, they're not gonna like call the cops on us weirdos or anybody worse.
No one think I'm weird. Everyone say I'm charming.
Weirdly, yes, and I would like to keep it that way.
I think
So-
Frankie like looks around. She's like, "Oh my gosh, let me get into my costume." Like thuds.
Why are
like,
you not in
running out.
costume? Time for the party.
It'll just be a second. Like another big tear. Like she's so quick to cry about things.
Really, the tear duct upgrade that you did on yourself was
Yeah,
a little bit too much.
They're like cartoon tears, really. They're these big tears. So she
Excellent.
goes like thudding off and comes back, and she has a blonde wig. She gave herself a little beauty mark and is wearing like a white dress. And is then like goes over and starts like quickly packing up all of the treats and desserts that she made.
Good. Anybody else? Okay, we got Alco. Are you? Is this your costume?
Yes, I am going as me.
That's not.
Good.
In any other case,
That's a good
in
costume.
any other case, this would be a bad idea. People don't like that costume. Here, I think it's gonna work for some reason.
People like me. People like me.
They do, and I would like to keep it that way. So, fangs in, claws retracted. Bow, no more walking through walls, okay? Or people. Goth, do not walk through any more people, okay?
oh, I'll try. Once I need to get the rest of my costume. Hold on. And I'm gonna phase back through the wall, leaving the
once we
fishnets,
get
but like
outside,
comes
we
back
can do
around
that.
and grabs that.
So your clothes don't phase with you. We're establishing that when you-
Not the fishnet. The fishnets that they put on.
We are remembering that.
That's fine.
Alco is gonna point at Boo and just be like, "She violated rule.
I am aware. Okay. And I'm not like
The wall's not a person.
we can't go through walls either, Bo.
Oh.
He said that.
Spike, try not to talk about your upbringing or the way things used to be. Nobody wants to hear about the good old days, especially when it was 4,000 years ago, okay?
Everyone I talk to is very interested in what I have to say.
Yeah, let's just keep the talk about your days of glory like to a minimum, okay?
A minimum, yes, okay. I can do that.
I don't want to have to move apartments again, okay?
It's thousands of years that I that's my whole life. How could I not talk about it?
You just have to do what I do and condense hundreds of years into like 20. I pass for 20, huh?
Frankie nods supportingly.
So you condense hundreds of years. I was buried in Slovakia. It was wonderful. So you just condense. You wake up. You say you are CEO of fantastic company. It go under because Bolsheviks. And then you wander around the world for a little bit. And then you find love of your life. And then she die. And then you cannot move on for forever. And then you join the weird Russian gang. And you are still technically in. But this happened over hundreds of years. You just condense.
Hey, really good advice. Did not expect that, but good advice, actually.
Bo comes back out through their door and is like, I'm surprised any of you still remember your past life. I don't have any memory of who I used to be. And they now look like they have the fishnet wrapped around and they have a lampshade on their head and one high heel. Because they knew that they had to look sexy, and this is the first result that they got when they looked. They were looking online.
That's a very good costume.
And just one last thing to be very sexy, and they're gonna go to the mirror and he's gonna try to put on lipstick, and I don't know that I can in like the ghost rules of like, and I mean the ghost rules of like the movie Ghost when he couldn't like push things or move stuff. I want to see if I can even get the lipstick to stay on me. If you want me to roll for that.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a mundanity roll, I think.
While you're rolling
mundanity.
Melanie, I want to really quickly mention my mom was the first time this has ever been redeemed, and I think it's such a fun channel point redemption. She redeemed Let the Players Conspire. So at any point during the game tonight, the four of us can say, Zay, you have to leave. They have to take off their headphones and leave for 5 minutes. And we can plan whatever we want to do without them knowing
this is incredible.
what we're going to be doing. So thank you to my mom for using channel points to do that. Just something to keep in mind if we ever want to just, plan some chaos without Zay knowing what's happening.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I am terrified and delighted. Denise, thank you so much.
So I did a thing, Zay, where we have to have, a D4, D6, D8. I chose 7 sets of dice that I like and took the number of each of those just because I want a really clacky, clattery kind of, I'm that kind of ghost, but I'm only taking the result of the one. I just wanted to roll 7 of them. Make the most noise possible.
This is fair. I love this. I am going to apply a -1 because one of your weaknesses is tangibility.
That makes sense. I rolled a 7, but my mundanity is, I think, my highest.
Yeah, if you're rolling D8s, that's where your highest is. So,
yeah.
Yes. So if you roll a 7, even with a -1, that is a 6. That is a success. What does it look like when you apply this makeup?
It looks perfect. A perfect pair of lips. But now there is a perfectly pair of lips on the lampshade of of this sexy lamp.
Good.
Incredible. Absolutely the sexiest costume at the party, and for sure the sexiest ghost.
And probably the sexiest lamp.
Yeah, so you all head down to the lowest, the main floor of the building, so you can head out. Do you take the stairs or the elevator, do you think? Just out of curiosity.
Maybe the stairs. I think Frankie could work off some, kind of wake herself up.
That sounds good.
Alco's gonna take the secret third option of window.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Yes. Is this just a drop? Are you flying down? How do you get down from the window? I imagine you're up on like, I don't know. We can pick. Oh, no. It's gotta be the 13th floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice.
Alco's gonna just kind of, how normal humans can turn into bats?
Mm.
He's gonna do that. He's gonna do that and just kind of like.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a prowess roll.
Okay, for prowess, I did a D4, so let me get a D4 roll up on here. On my handy dandy, I don't have my dice right now. All right. Oh, dip. We got a 1.
Oh, no.
We got a 1.
Yeah, bad, but very fitting, I think. So, to explain to the audience, anything 4 or higher is a success, anything 3 or lower is a failure, and I describe what goes wrong. If the result is a 1, something goes disastrously.
I'm so excited. Please torture my poor boy.
And I think, what goes disastrously wrong here is very obvious, because if something goes disastrously wrong, maybe you reveal something of your nature, or you succumb to one of your temptations. In this case, I think it goes, here's the thing, you roll the 1, but it goes beautifully. Like, you look excellent. Are you dropping the bathrobe when you go flying out of the window?
Yeah.
Perfect. I love, like, you just kind of like gracefully drop the bathrobe to the floor, you open the window up, and you just like step out, snap into a bat, kind of take a nice loop around the dusky night sky, flutter your way down. It's going to take your compatriots a little bit of time to get down there. You flutter down, and then very gracefully turn back into a human, just right on the ground. Dust yourself off, and then look up and see a crowd of 3 or 4 children just staring at you, wide-eyed, dressed in a variety of like knockoff superhero costumes, just staring up at you and wondering if this person really did just turn from a bat into a human in front of them.
Oh, dip. All right, hang on. Let me see. Okay, one of my strengths is a hypnotic personality.
Yes.
So, do you want me to roll for charm?
If you are going to try and charm them into, yeah, go ahead and give me a charm roll, which I think Alco is very good at.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it to just be a 1 again. All right, rolling a d6. We got a 5.
5. Okay, success. So what do you say to these kids? And what is it? It's going to be successful. But what do you convince them of? And what does it look like when you turn on this charm?
So my eyes are normally like a very nice gray. But when the charm comes on, they turn acid green. Like, think Biohazard. The hair kind of lifts up, kind of Studio Ghibli-esque, and just kind of this aura of something totally human, completely human, normal. This aura of something totally normal and human and not supernatural at all just kind of comes out and surrounds the area. And Alco leans down, fangs showing, claws out, eyes acid green. And he looks at the children and says, "Go home." And yeah, and then he just kind of brings himself back up to his full height, dusts himself off, and walks away.
The kids look frozen in fear as you do this, as if they want to run away but can't even bring themselves to move when you lean down in. And then as soon as you turn away, without a word, the kids all turn the opposite direction and slowly but very steadily walk back to their apartments.
Wow.
Yeah.
None of the rest of us even know that happened, I feel like.
I think
we cut to the stairwell where he and Bo are going down, and Bo is working so hard to make the heel make a noise. And step, and step, and...
Yeah, and Spike, how are the steps for you? And is any of your entourage with you?
Oh yeah. My entourage, I think, just kind of stays within the bandages, like just kind of pocket themselves away. And it's kind of funny watching because his legs are just wobbling everywhere. It just doesn't look like he could be standing. Like he should be standing right now. But he's keeping up.
I think Frankie is walking behind Spike and just like unbeknownst to Spike is just holding on to some of the loose bandages. And so just like holding Spike up so it's like your legs are moving, but it's like if Frankie gets the timing wrong, you're just kind of dangling. Because she's like really doesn't want you to fall down the stairs. So it's just kind of like holding you basically upright. As you're going down.
Yeah, you all very slowly, I think, make your way down these flights of stairs, as many flights of stairs all the way down to the ground floor. You see a number of your other compatriots, other fellow apartment dwellers. You know, a few more hairy humans seem to know Huck. Some other, nocturnal humans of all types. There's a few sort of magical types, a couple of very aquatic humans, but eventually you make it down to the ground floor, and I think you are like stepping out as you see Alco like coming up, looking very, very proud of themselves, I imagine.
I think Frankie's just kind of like surveying, like looking around. Is the party happening like right outside our apartment? Like, is this where the party is?
Yes.
Or, okay.
So now that you all are down here, it is a like block Halloween party. So the street is blocked off. You have a number of like tall apartment buildings, sort of residential area of the city, and just like up and down the street from here, there are tables of food, there's games set up, there's people in costumes wandering about, there are stations set up where like adults are passing out candy to children who are trick-or-treating up and down the streets. There's just people in costumes milling about, and everybody having just like a really wonderful time, and it just sucks. Like there are so many, like Frankie, there's someone who's just slapped some green face paint on and a couple of fake scars, and it's called it a night. Alco, there's so many cheap things here. Just so many plastic cheap things and these terrible capes that went out of style centuries ago. Terrible. Bo, I don't know how you feel about it, but there are just a lot of people in with sheets over their heads. Just a sheet. And they keep jumping at people, going boo. And I know it's so.
And he just keeps on being like, Bo, it's Bo. I think every time that Bo sees someone dressed up like a cheap ghost, I think he just gets excited and is like, oh no, oh no. It's just excited to see people, I think, because mostly stays inside.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of challenging at times for you to go outside. You kind of, in a way, tethered to the apartment.
Yeah.
So the further you get away from it, the harder that is for you. It's very, as I think most of us on this call are introverts, so we're all very familiar with what this feels like. The further you get away from your apartment, your energy just sort of like drains out.
Yeah. I think Bo kind of turns on her heel, looks at everybody's like, so we go back inside now?
Yes, we go back inside. I do not want to be here anymore. Inside that. Let's go.
And starts to go.
Hawk comes out from she's just a little bit behind you. And it's like, no, we gotta put in like a little bit of an appearance, okay? Give it, I don't know, an hour or two. Just kind of mill around, say hello, make it brief if you can. Frankie, you got food? Give some food, get some candy. Here, I got some candy, and Huck has like a cheap plastic jack-o'-lantern that's like full of candy. And just is like giving each of you a handful or two. Like just if kids come up to you, just give them a little bit of candy. So it's like, Frankie, here you go. Alco, Spike, put it in the bandages. I don't know. I know you don't really have pockets usually. The hat, maybe you can put it in the hat. Bo, and we'll just kind of like hold out a handful of candy to you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to hold it. I think I'm gonna have to concentrate really hard to keep it in my hands.
Very good.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and have you do a prowess roll here.
Okay.
You do have a +1. I will remind you.
Do I have to choose to use it before I roll, or can I add it after I do?
Usually, you can add it after, but Zay's running the game, so I'll defer to them.
It's not part of it's part of the stream, not the rules. I'm fine with after.
Okay.
I'll give you. Savory's given me enough to work with. I'll give you all that.
Oh, wait with do I get a -1 to this at all? I rolled a 4. I need to know if I need to.
Oh, if you need to.
If I need to add to.
Let's see. One of your weaknesses is being tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah, since you are specifically trying to be able to hold this, I'm
Okay.
gonna go ahead and apply that. But if you use the +1, it'll still be a success.
Yeah, I'll use the +1 so I can hold on to it. But I'm just like, they keep on sort of slipping through my hands, and I have to keep on like going underneath them and concentrating very hard to hold this handful of candy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if you have pockets or if you could tuck it into the fishnets.
I think what Huck said to us all, Bo is taking to heart and is like, okay, I just need to get rid of this candy as quick as possible, and I gotta go say hello to people. So is going to immediately pivot to the closest people to us and just be like, hello, and give whoever it is candy, and not stay to interact with them, but keep on moving.
Mm-hmm. It is a pair of adults that you start shoving candy at. It is two.
Hello.
It is two like young adults. I think this looks like a couple maybe. And it's hi. Okay. And they're like taking the candy. We don't. We're
Mm-hmm.
we weren't trick or treating. We're actually trying to cut back on sugar.
Okay. Is already like moving away from them as they're like trying to talk to me. I'm not. I didn't think that I had to have a conversation with them. I thought I had to say hello to them, give rid of this candy. So
You've
I'm
done
not
your
like,
part.
okay.
You've done your part. They just kind of like hold out handfuls of fun-sized candy bars as you walk away from them. And how are you walking away, I should say? Are you using the high heel at all?
The high heel is probably kind of dragging on the floor because I'm not concentrating on making it step down.
Excellent.
And I'm just handing more of the candy out. I'm giving pieces to everybody.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I guess that'll have to do. Everybody try to have a good time. Try not to draw too much attention to yourselves, okay?
Frankie has already kind of walked away. I think didn't really bother with like the candy. I think she's taken the thing that she's packed her treats and stuff in is she got a mask of JFK and has tied like, so it's like upside down because it's a mask. It's like a full head mask kind of mask, and so has like is using like a string or something and is like carrying this upside down JFK mask and has packed the treats inside. And I think Frankie has, mixed feelings on Halloween because she definitely doesn't like people like dressing up as stuff that they don't know about. And like, especially like, I think she like sees somebody who's like, has like the green face paint and stuff. And she's like, a little tear wells up and she's like, if a part of me turns green, that's really a bad sign. And that's usually something I watch out for. But like a lot of other constructed humans does like kids. Like, you know, there's like, because a lot of kids are like more accepting than adults are. Not all kids, but a lot of kids are like, you know, more accepting of her. And so is carrying this JFK mask and giving the treats to kids. I think they're like very carefully like wrapped up and everything. She took a lot of care with this. And there's like taking out little pumpkin pies and blueberry muffins.
There's like little wrapped candies like falling through the eye holes.
Yeah, the candies that Huck gave her are just falling out of the eye holes of the mask. Yeah.
I think Spike is just kind of the same thing, wanders off, and he just wanders up to like any random like group of people and just starts laughing. Just
Hey, Alex, I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you want to give us a little taste?
Yeah,
of
I
what
need
the
to
laugh
know.
sounds like?
I gotta know.
What does the laugh sound like?
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, yes. That reminds me of back in my day. Yes, me and my friends. He kind of just rambles, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I just like the people I imagine are just trying to like ignore him.
Alco hears all of this like happening out of just like, and he sees it out of the corner of his eye and just kind of mutters to himself in Russian, drops the candy on the ground and like just traipses on over to Spike and is like, please ignore friend, he very drunk, goodbye. Drags him back off.
Excellent cover. I think as you are walking away, though, there is a guy who comes up to you, just a like, I don't know, 30s, mid 30s, just normal looking guy, kind of urban dad look. I'm sure you can imagine the type. Uh, and he just kind of comes up to you. He's like, "Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself. I think I've seen you all around, but I don't know that we've really gotten a chance to talk to you. I just like to make everybody in the neighborhood feel welcome. My name is Jacko, and it's wonderful to meet you. I don't know. I feel like y'all have been living here a while. I've seen you around before, but I hope you're having a good evening."
Is Jacko
Yes.
is Jacko like does Jacko live in our building? Or
No,
Okay.
this is one of the other normal people
Yeah.
who live on the street.
Sorry, Alex, continue with what you were saying. I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's all he was gonna say.
Yes.
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 Okay. Yeah, so if you need anything, you can let me know, let my husband know.
What
Just-
and what would we be needing that you would be thinking about?
Anything. Look, we're trying to be good neighbors. If you need anything at all, I'm happy to help. If you'd like, I can give you my phone number.
I need conversation to be over.
Okay.
Excuse
looks like-
At this point, Bo is going to kind of glide on over, hand out with the candy, and is just like pushing it at Jacko. And is like, "And what is your sexy costume?"
Oh, I wasn't going for sexy. And he kind of like, it's kind of a couple's costume. I don't know where my husband got off to. We were kind of doing the whole American Gothic thing. It's like he's got like.
You don't seem to have any black eye makeup or.
You are very misunderstanding of American Gothic. It not look.
Like-
You are wearing sock with sandal.
Look, he looks down. Look, I'm gonna be moving around a lot tonight. I wanted to be comfortable. You got me. Hey, you got me. I didn't go fully out for the costume. You caught me.
I don't know if you can really call it a costume if it's not sexy. That's the point of Halloween.
Frankie just says, hands him a little pumpkin pie and says, "Excuse my friends, they're very drunk."
Thanks, Frankie.
Yeah,
You
I
know-
feel like we've been told that's like the thing we should be.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad everybody's having a good time. We've got the tables over there. It is. I would say we are going for a family feel here. It is an all ages event we've got going on. So I just try to keep the, both the drinking and the sexiness to a reasonable level if we could.
Oh, it sounds like we should leave then. Come on.
Well,
Oh,
wanna
good. Let's go.
I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I assume the two of you are starting to leave. Frankie
Yeah,
and Spike,
we're
are you
absolutely-
following?
I don't think Frankie wants to leave. So I think Frankie is just like, is just like, thank you for your help. And we'll let you know if we need anything. And if you need anything, you can let me know. I'm Frankie. She puts pulls out a big hand, a big scarred hand.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a charm roll real quick.
Okay, Frankie is charming. That is the
Is
top
charming.
skill, so I
Yeah.
could roll a d8. And I got an 8.
Excellent. Yeah, I think with that, he's definitely hit the some of the worry sort of like leaves his face. There's a little bit of a new worry when he does grip your hand and feels all the scars all the way up. There's a few weird, suspicious ones like right at the base of the finger, like weird, unusual spot to have a scar. But he's too polite to say anything. And he just shakes your hand, a nice firm handshake, and is like, "It's good to meet you, Frankie. How long have you all been in the neighborhood on our street here?"
Oh, I've been here probably as long as I've been alive. So, like 15, 20 years.
Oh, I'm.
That's such a gap.
He's kind of like trying to process this.
Well, I should.
There's-
Yeah, I always forget. Frankie has a hard time answering how old she is because there are so
Some of
many
the parts.
Some of the
Yeah.
the parts are different ages, and then it's like, should I say how old I've had this part, or how old the person was who had the part before me?
It's
So
a whole
like,
it's a whole person of thesis thing. Like,
yeah.
yeah. So, very few original parts left anyway.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, there's two conflicting thoughts in Jacko's head, and one is, that's a weird gap. Number two is, I thought this person was a lot older than that. And so he's doing that thing where he's like, where you almost say that, and then you're like, that would be impolite.
Yeah, Frankie
I
definitely
can't say
doesn't
that
look
out loud.
15.
Right.
And is not 15. Like, has not been I don't know. Like, I feel like even Frankie doesn't, because, you get your, like, sometimes Frankie has to, like, replace her brain. So, like, what does that do? Like, how old is she? Who made
Yeah,
her?
oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, impossible question to answer. So I think what wins out here is that Jacko is about to say, oh, I thought you were much older. And then it's like, most people don't take that as a compliment. I'm not going to say anything. And it's just like, oh, didn't, a lifelong resident. How wonderful. I surprised I haven't seen you around more. I try to, my husband and I have been living here for a few years. We try to, just get to know everybody.
I don't really get out much.
You should get out a little bit more. I think we've got a friendly little neighborhood here. We've got, look at all this fun things we've got going on.
What are the fun things?
Yeah, so you said that there was a table. What's
Yeah,
going
what's
on?
on the
So there's
table?
tables with treats, with snacks, like food that people have made. As Jacko mentioned, there is a table with drinks. It's more of like, people know about it, but they're trying not to make a big deal out of it. It is manned by a couple of adults, and a lot of games going on. So if anyone is interested in joining in any games,
Depends
we
what kind of
have
game.
we've got some pretty great
Is there a
games.
bounce house?
Oh, absolutely. There's a bounce house down at one end of the street, where it's like part of what's blocking off one end of the street. There's a bounce house, a crowd of children in costume like lined up to go down. Or I think it's one of those like bouncy slide things.
Ooh,
actually.
can it be?
Can I make a
like-
request?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go
Yes.
ahead.
No, you
I can deny it, but you can make the request.
I was gonna request that it looks like a big jack-o'-lantern with an open mouth.
Oh, that's
Oh.
really good.
Oh,
Wonderful.
yeah.
What
Wonderful.
were you gonna say, Taylor? Were you gonna suggest
I
what it looked like?
I was gonna say a vampire with a big open mouth.
I mean, that's good too.
Maybe it can be.
Right.
Maybe
right.
it can be.
The vampire's like tongue is where you slide down.
Oh, that's.
I think we've got two, and I'm gonna take both of these ideas. So I think there is a jack-o'-lantern slide one. So there's like a vine slide, and then you slide down into like the bouncy area of the jack-o'-lantern, and then come out its mouth. So it's the jack-o'-lantern is like vomiting children out onto the street. And then there's also a spooky castle one that is just a bounce house full of
And it's just
children going nuts.
Like it's like a vampire with a big open mouth and like fangs.
And there's points in the bounce house where it goes bleh.
There is yes. And also like eerie, but not too eerie because it's for children music playing. But there is just the occasional like cackle, and a few bleh. It's really the recording is like wearing out, so it really is just like a bleh. Like every so often. Yes, so down at one end of the street we've got a bounce house and a bouncy slide. There appears to be some sort of scavenger hunt going on. Frankie, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but there is a pin to limb on the Frankenstein going on one side of the street.
Frankie shudders.
There's pumpkin bowling going on. They've got a little lane set up. People are rolling pumpkins to knock over pins. There's a like pumpkin chucking game where people are like throwing pumpkins onto a target to try and score some points. There is, of course, your classic apple bobbing. Go about bobbing for apples.
Are there prizes?
Nothing more than like candy being given out. I think a couple of them, the bowling, I think they've set up like a little tournament. They have a trophy to hand out.
I think
mostly
candy and camaraderie. That's what you get out of these games.
Yeah.
It's just a fun family event, you know?
I think Frankie's like looking around trying to find something that Bo or Alco would like. It's like something to like try to keep them here. So it's just like looking and then like seeing something that like they wouldn't like.
Well, Alco found the drink table and is currently like chugging his way through an entire punch bowl and just kind of glaring menacingly at the vampire haunted house.
Does normal human food do anything to Alco? Or
I
is
don't
it
know.
just-
I will leave that up to our charming DM.
Oh, I see. I was gonna throw that your way. I think it takes a bit more to get to, at least for Alco. Bo, I think if Bo can get any sort of substances in, it has an immediate effect. I think Frankie has a pretty high tolerance, and Spike, I'm not sure about. Alco, it takes a little bit more, but you can feel it.
I think Frankie's a lightweight, actually. I think Frankie doesn't like really drink that much, and so
and you haven't been able to find a very good liver yet, so
yes, it really just immediately goes into the bloodstream.
It hits hard and fast.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think Bo like imbibes or eats anything. Like you mentioned like a treat table. I think Bo just kind of like is drifting past it and just kind of like has a finger out as if to touch a brownie and then doesn't, and is just like thinking about when like he used to eat food and like how long has it been? I'm not really sure. And just like trying to remember what that sensation even was like.
Yeah, I think there's like a mom at this table. I was like, go ahead, you can have one. They're for everyone.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna pick up a brownie. I'm gonna put it under my lamp, and I'm gonna mime eating food. Where it just kind of crumbles up a la Casper's uncle style and like goes through me.
I thought you were gonna say it's like Cookie Monster, where like you don't even you're just crumbling it and it's falling. But
no,
I
think
like that version better. Yeah.
I think it is Bo putting it in her mouth and just like but it's like doesn't go anywhere. I love food.
So are these crumbs then like inside Bo right now? Like, or is
think so. Like, I think the substance that is Bo is like such that things will go through slowly, but it is like gravity is working on it so that it is moving slowly downwards.
excellent. I think just being able to see like a little bit of crumbs, this mom like grabs a napkin from the table. It's like, yeah, you have a few crumbs, dear.
How kind of you, offering me all these things. I'm just gonna take it and just kind of cartoonishly dab at their lamp. Thank you, I really must be going. So many other treats to try.
Oh yes, there's an excellent peanut brittle a couple tables down. Martha brought that. It's so good.
Oh, I can't wait to try Martha's brittle. Step. I'm gonna start moving away. Not in the direction where she was pointing.
From far off at the drink table, you just kind of hear like it's audible. You just hear, Martha's a bitch.
One of the there's
Martha makes an appearance.
It's a couple of I think it's an older couple, a man and a woman at this table, who are just like, all right, I think maybe let's save a little bit of drink for everyone else. We only have a little bit to go around, okay?
Humans are so selfish and greedy. How dare you take drink from me? You know I am Russian. I can handle all of this.
Okay. Be that as it may, we want to share some with everyone. We're trying to keep things fun, but responsible tonight. There are children around after all.
I will eat children. Then there are no children.
Okay, I don't like the sound of that.
Couple.
All right. Why don't we get you maybe playing some games? How would that sound?
I do not know about the game. What game you have?
I think you'd have a really fun time with the pin the limb on the Frankenstein, especially with how much you've been having. It's going to be a little extra fun for you tonight. And this older woman comes out and is like, hand not on your back, but like close there, like to try and guide you down the street a little ways to where this pin the limb on the Frankenstein is.
Oh, we having a hiss. We do not like that.
Okay. Let's get you out of here. And she's trying to steer you wide of any children.
Nope.
Spike, what are you up to?
Spike wants to play some games. I think he would like to play. Well, like, are there any throwing games, like throwing baseballs at like the little pins and stuff, or?
So we have the pumpkin chucking, which is like throwing pumpkins onto a target, trying to score some points. There's pumpkin bowling. I think they have one of those little, it's not like quite cornhole, but it's one of those little like nets targets that you throw things into, and they're throwing in like eyeball bean bags.
Okay. He'll do the pumpkin chucking.
Okay. Cool. So you stroll up. There's like a little line They have to finish like the current round before they get you in. But they're like, yeah, stand over here. Like you'll be up in the next round. You get a few throws, try and land on the targets. Go ahead and give me a prowess roll to see how this goes.
Okay, that's a 5, so that would be a 6 in total.
If you want to use the +1, but you don't need to.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Because I don't think this applies to any of your strengths. Your strengths are ancient knowledge and insect affinity, and unless you're trying to apply one of those here.
No.
Cool. So you're doing pretty well at this, I think. Like you're getting not like a lot of attention, but you're getting some people watching. So I think it happens in like a couple of rounds where it like narrows down. It's like a little bracket. And the further you can throw the pumpkin on to land on a target, the better off. And you're just chucking them like far target, doing excellent, racking up the points. You've got a little like fan base building, I think, watching you. I in between like one of the rounds, I think a kid is just standing there like watching you. Has a pretty cute little Mothman costume on. And it's just like, what's your costume?
Well, it's I'm a cowboy. I wanted to be a cowboy, baby.
Oh my god.
Nah, baby. Okay, I'm full. Pretty soon, I'm going to be 5.
Pretty soon, I'm going to be, let's see, 2,536 years.
That's pretty old. My dad said that people don't get that old. Because I said I wanted to be 5,000, and he said, no, you can't. People don't get to be that old. How come you get to be that old?
Well, it all started when I was on an exposition, and it's a long story. It's a long story. Do you have time? I've got to throw these pumpkins.
I like stories.
I've got to throw these pumpkins because everyone else is waiting.
It's not your turn yet.
Oh, okay.
4-year-old if they have time. You have a moment? I can tell you about my story.
I like stories.
I went to excavate a mummy, a tomb, and extract the things for museum, and I fell into the casket, the sarcophagus, and my friends left me there.
Pretty bad friends. My friends are mean to me sometimes too. One time, my friend Mike, he stole my blue marker.
Well, you need to go tell Mike to frick off.
That's what I told him, but I got in big trouble with the teacher.
Teachers, the grown-ups in general, they'll never understand. They'll never understand. I am young at heart myself, and yes, I understand.
Do you know any vampires?
He looks at the kid just kind of like, what do you know? What's going on here? Just kind of sketchily like, what's going on? Do you know something?
Well, I was talking to some other of my friends, and they said that they think they saw a vampire walking around or flying around, maybe even, because some vampires can turn into bats, and like we have seen there have been bats around, and they're usually not bats in this neighborhood. My dad says that they don't come into this neighborhood very often, but I think that there were bats around. And then plus there was another guy who was asking about vampires.
Well, vampires don't exist.
Spike.
Go ahead and give me a charm. Give me a charm roll.
Alco is right here.
You tell this child that you are thousands of years old.
Listen,
And you're
I'm
like, but
thousands of
no
years old
vampires.
That's not real.
That's a 2. But also, well, would ancient knowledge be fine?
Yeah, does that?
Would ancient knowledge
To
lie about-
lie to
Yeah.
a kid?
I mean, there's ancient knowledge involved, but you are specifically not using that ancient knowledge.
You know, it's important to know when to use it and when to exclude it. You know, right?
Yeah.
I just want Spike to say no, I don't know any vampires, and then hear Alco in the distance like cheering wildly because he won a game. And then just be like, nope, don't know any.
Nice.
Now you said you rolled you say a 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so even if you added your +1, it would still be a failure.
Oh god.
So this kid is like looking up at you and is like, I think vampires are real. I think I met a vampire.
Oh my gosh. Well, you can think whatever you want to think. Honestly, I don't care.
I think maybe you're a vampire.
Do you want to find out?
That's what?
This kid. Is it my turn to throw the pumpkin yet?
It can be.
Yeah. He just turns and just kind of ignores and just throws the pumpkin.
Yeah, you rolled really well before, so like you land, I think, just an excellent, a little bit maybe fueled by this interaction. You know, the adrenaline is really pumping now,
Yeah.
which is pretty rare for Spike these days. You just, chuck it. It's like the maximum amount of points. And I think when you turn around, the kid is still there staring at you. And it's like, pretty strong. Like a vampire.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. You've got me. I am a vampire. I am. Now what?
I thought so. I just think people are looking for vampires tonight. Maybe be careful. That's what my dad always says. Be careful. And don't trust strangers.
You are terrifying.
Is it?
Is
Mothman.
More so. More terrifying. And I've met Mothman.
Did you meet the real Mothman?
They just look at each other just like Who's to say?
I went to meet Mothman one day. Mothman is my hero.
Do you have anything else to be doing right now? I mean, where's your parents?
One of my dads is over there, and points to like one of the people that is helping run this game, who just like looks over and kind of smiles, looks at you and is like, I'm sorry, is he bothering you? He's real chatty.
No, not at all. And then just kind of like, yes.
What does this dad dress like? Say, I need to know what the costume is.
Oh no.
Is this the other half of Jacko's?
No. This dad is dressed as one of the Spice Girls. As part of a group costume. And he kind of like looks over at this kid and is like, all right, Nib, come on, let's leave.
Nib?
Hey, you give me free reign of naming people. You should have known what to expect.
Oh my god.
This guy's like, all right, Nib, let's leave the cowboy alone. And I guess, Spike, are you gonna go back to doing your pumpkin chucking?
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Right. I think
Getting back in line.
well, there's a bracket that they're.
I was imagining it's just a line of people taking turns, and then he just keeps getting back in line, and then throwing a pumpkin, and then getting back in line again.
Very good. I want to cut real quick while we have a moment to Frankie. And what is Frankie up to?
I think Frankie is like... Okay, so here's the thing. I think Frankie really actually wants to do the bounce house. Even though it is
good.
like for kids. And I think she knows that it's for kids. So she's just kind of standing by it and looking at it like kind of longingly. And so it's just like kind of looking at the bounce house, but like holding her treats and like passing treats out. And just like waiting for like any adult to be doing it, because then she's like, okay. Because I think Frankie doesn't like get the chance to like, she's big and she kind of like clomps around, and so she's like, I think this would be fun to feel like graceful and to like feel like, you know, not weightless, but like to experience that. I think she really thinks it would be fun.
Yeah, so there aren't any adults that you see, but there are some teenagers, a couple of them a little bit older. I mean, probably some of them maybe older than you. It's hard to tell because, you know, you can't quite remember.
Older than parts of me, for sure.
Oh, for sure. Some of your parts are a lot older than most people here, but I think that one of the like volunteers helping run this kind of sees you, and it's like, there's no age limit.
There's really no age limit, or you're just saying that?
Look, as soon as the kids are winded down, I'm going for it.
She like looks at the person and like gives a very like big genuine smile, and says, I mean, is it as fun as it looks?
It's pretty fun.
Do you think you can hold my treats? Just holds this upside down JFK mask. You can have some if you want. They're not just for kids either.
Yeah, I can hold on to those for you.
Thanks. And she like just fully runs over to stand in line to do the bounce, the Dracula one, so the one that is like a bounce house.
Oh, the bounce house. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So this one, like, it's full of kids, and so they are like, they have to get some of the kids out and like let a few more in. So there's a little bit of a line. It's not quite the line as it is for the the bouncy slide. There's a little bit of a line, so you're kind of like standing over there, and I think there, as you're standing in line, there's like a couple of other adults milling about. There's like these volunteers, and one of them, as you're getting in line, you're waiting there, is like, oh hi, what's your name? I don't. Are you new to the neighborhood? I don't know that I've seen you around much.
No, I've been here for a while. I just don't get out that much. I'm Frankie. Nice to meet you. And she puts her hand out to shake.
Oh, nice to meet you, Frankie. Have you met? We do have some new people, or a new person in the neighborhood. Have you met? And turns, gestures to this person behind them that you hadn't noticed before. This sort of like, this person dressed like very darkly. They're wearing like a big dark coat. You can't quite tell what their costume is supposed to be if they've got one. They're wearing like a big dark hat as well. And this person that's introducing you is like, have you met Van? And you know exactly what Van is.
Van Morrison, right?
You wish.
Frankie's a brown-eyed girl.
Sometimes. One of them. But you know exactly what Van is, and you know that you and your friends are in a whole lot of trouble. And I think that's a pretty good time to throw it to break.
Of course. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I'm gonna take us to a break. We'll be gone for 15 minutes, which is a chance for all of us to, stretch, get our snacks, get our drinks, do our bio breaks, which I encourage everyone in chat to do as well. And while we're on the break screen, you'll also see more info about our players tonight, the little bios and things like that. But yeah, we'll be back in 15 minutes. Everyone, do you want to say goodbye to chat?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye. Felicitations, adventurers! Welcome back to the second half of our game of totally normal human roommates. We're having a great time. But before we get back into the game, we're going to do some reintroductions for anybody who missed the first beginning, and also there's a chance for everyone here to plug other stuff they got going on. I will go first, and I'll throw it over to my guest this evening, but my name is Taylor, use she, her pronouns. I'm usually the person running games here on Roll for Felicity. You can follow me on Twitter to see the stuff that I have coming up. My next tabletop stream is going to be on, I believe, the 23rd? Yeah, the 23rd, so a week from tomorrow, playing Vampire the Masquerade. It's a one-shot, but it's the second in a series of one-shots, so I'm really excited for that. And then also I've been playing Cult of the Lamb this month, which has been really, really fun. So check that out. But I'm going to throw it over to my players tonight, or guests tonight, to reintroduce themselves and also plug stuff they've got going on. And this time we'll start with Alex.
Hi, that's me. I'm Alex. Pretty much what I've got going on is I make music, and I do commissions for all sorts of things, literally anything, nothing off the table, or if you know anyone that wants a song made for anything, I can do that. That's me.
And then throw it over to Melanie.
Hi, I'm Melanie. My pronouns are she, her. Things to promote. I'm gonna steal one from Zay. I put it in chat. You should buy this game. Zay wrote it, and it's very good and fun. You can see we're having a great time, and you could too. And second promotion, tell your friends that you love them, because you probably don't as much as you think you might, or you're afraid to, and you should just freaking do it, you coward.
Strong message.
Good plug. Cass.
Melanie bullying people into being better is my favorite thing.
Cass, that's your turn to reintroduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Cass. My pronouns are they, them. Pretty much all I've got going on right now is just being a librarian. But I also do art and writing commissions if anyone is ever interested. And second, Melanie, tell your friends that you love them, be gay, and do crime.
Very good. And then Zay, you can reintroduce yourself, plug things, and also bring us into the second half of our story tonight.
Yeah, I am Zay. My pronouns are they, them. Since everyone else got all the important plugs out of the way, be gay, crime, tell your friends you love them, cool music. I can tell you about the less important plugs, which are that I write a couple of RPGs, including this game here. You can find the games I've written on my itch page at WildJBlue. I have this game, which you can buy for $2. I have another one that you can pay what you want for, and another much different game. You can't go back again. That one is my other mood style, which is sad. Yeah, you can check out those games. But enough about those. Let's get back to the game we are playing tonight, which is this run of Totally Normal Human Roommates, where our players are playing totally normal, completely human roommates. They are in costume, ready for this Halloween party that is happening on their street, this little block Halloween party. But they are trying to muddle their way through for at least a couple of hours before they can all go back to bed like we all would like to. They've gotten up to various forms of trouble, which they have mostly gotten their way out of. But most recently, Frankie was introduced to a new resident in the neighborhood that gives her a little bit of a fright. And I think we're going to jump back in with Frankie in the vampire bounce house.
So we cut from me being introduced to Van Helsing, and then we cut back, I'm in the bounce house.
Yes.
So I've extricated myself from this situation.
The best. I think what happens is, like, you're introduced to Van, and then, like, as you're trying to, like, make an introduction, I think you realize right away what Van is.
And I say, I'd love to talk more, but it's actually my turn. I've been waiting here for a while.
It literally, like, someone else is like, "Oh, you're up," and it's like patting you on the arm to, like, go in.
Yeah.
Can I pitch what the cinematic scene of that transition looks like? Which is, like, zooms in on Frankie's face, and, like, and then it zooms out, and you're in the bounce house. And you're like,
Yeah.
I'm also wearing the Marilyn Monroe dress. I have Frankie definitely has like biker shorts, like bike shorts on, so it's not inappropriate. But it is that visual of the skirt blowing around. And
Frankie constantly pushing it down.
Yeah, it's just like
jump.
Having the time of her life, but I do wonder if there's damage being done to the bounce house.
Yeah, you are. Well, I guess I don't know. Frankie might be a little bit above the weight limit for the bounce house, along with so many other children in here. Give me a prowess roll.
Okay, that is my worst, so I will do that.
for Frankie to see how delicate she can be, because you are much larger than these children too.
Yeah.
Because you did describe Frankie as, like, dangling off the couch.
Yeah,
and like very tall.
Frankie's huge. I mean, she's very tall. Yeah. She's very big. I did get a 4 though.
Excellent.
Shockingly, not even necessarily what I wanted, but
yeah, despite everything else going on, you're managing not to. I don't think it's particularly graceful.
Yeah.
But no damage has been done to the bounce house, or to, more importantly, to any of the children in the bounce house.
Yeah.
You've managed not to knock any of them over.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I think
on that front,
the children, I think, are working together to
like, even the weight out.
Well,
like,
no, I think, like, Frankie couldn't normally bounce very high. So I think the kids are, like, working together to, like, bounce Frankie, basically. So, like, all the kids are on one side and Frankie is on the other side, and just, like, they're bouncing her.
And these kids are having, like, a blast with this. This is, like, a challenge they're like having so much fun. As you're bouncing, I think, unfortunately, at least somewhere in the back of your mind, is this person that you've been introduced to, Van. Van, you know, as soon as you heard the name, something clicked in your brain. You know that Van is a hunter. Yeah. Because, unfortunately, even for, I don't want to use the M word, but for your kind of people, there are still things that go bump in the night. And those are hunters. And you know what this hunter wants and what this hunter will do to you or to any of your friends if they discover you.
Yeah, I think Frankie's taking advantage of the height that she's getting when she's getting boosted and like kind of looking to see if she can see Bo and Spike and Alco. Just kind of like trying to look around.
Yeah, I think this is going on while Spike is doing very well at the pumpkin chucking contest. Spike, what's it look like when you're given your little trophy, your little 3D printed trophy for?
Is that all that Spike gets?
I think I did explain this part. Yes, you get like a little 3D printed trophy, and it's got like some candy bars shoved in it. He kind of, when he wins the game, he's bragging and he's like flexing, and then they just hand him this like cheaply printed, like you can see the ridges. Oh, like, yeah, they had to make a bunch of these, so they didn't, like, sand them down at all.
It was bad. Yeah, they're really bad. And just kind of, well, I mean, I think in his mind it balances out the fun that he had throwing it. He's disappointed in the prize, though, for sure.
Aww.
So, yeah, Frankie, as you bounce up to I think you bounce up, and you do have to like duck a little bit because this thing does have like a roof.
Yeah.
So you are like bouncing, and you're trying to look, but then as you get close, you kind of have to like shrink. I don't have any personal experience with this being way too tall, but you do see Spike there flexing with his trophy,
which has been established that Spike is just bones underneath, so,
yeah.
So the flexing is it's just the pose.
It's just, yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I think interestingly enough, their muscle just kind of comes out of nowhere. It flexes and then it's just like.
Is it actual muscle or is it the bugs?
Oh my god.
Oh.
The bugs
I
are
don't want to
like
enforce anything, Alex, but I love the idea that yes, there are a bunch of like scarabs and beetles in your like costume who are like making bulging mushrooms.
Yeah, we're coordinated.
Oh my gosh!
Excellent. Bo and Alco, what are the two of you up to?
I think Bo is once he's given away all of the candy that he had, he's just doing what he does best and is being stealthy. And so like unless trying to interact with other people is just kind of like moving through this crowd to be not noticed. And I think is going to, once we start all like meeting up together, it's just going to be like there with everybody else. It's like trying to find you guys when you're not interacting with people, but it seems like everyone is right now.
Yeah, Frankie, you're having a little trouble finding Bo. I don't think you're gonna have trouble spotting Alco, just knowing what he gets up to.
Yeah.
What's Alco had when we last saw Alco, they were being led over to the pin the limb on the Frankenstein game.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking up festival games right now just to see like what sort of thing Alco got themselves into.
We did also have the apple bobbing, and we did have pumpkin bowling.
Do we have
there's-
limbo somewhere?
Oh, why not? I can't say no to that.
So
I'm
Alco
not a fool.
is currently destroying a group of toddlers at limbo.
Wow, that's pretty hard to do. Toddlers are pretty short.
They're small.
But they're not very coordinated. So they have the height advantage, but they're not very good at bending backwards
Yeah.
to go under the limbo.
They haven't practiced that.
And the person
Imagine-
who's running it is being very strict, even though they're toddlers.
Mhm.
So whenever they
Oh,
try
yeah.
to
Yeah,
bend
right.
forward to go through, they're like, no.
No.
This is a teenager who's enjoying this responsibility far too much.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we see all of this through like the very wobbly, bouncy, like viewpoint of
Boing?
Frankie. And
Yeah,
also
bounce
there's like
up,
netting
there's,
and
like-
stuff, so it's very difficult.
You're like a bounce up, someone in fishnets, but it's not bow. Like bounce up. More fishnets? No, it's just a sexy nurse. Like bounce again.
Yeah.
Weirdly, there is someone else dressed as a lamp. It's not the sexy lamp. They're just dressed as a lamp.
They're
Pixar
just as-
lamp.
I was about to say the same thing.
So there's
They're
someone else as
jumping
a
on
like
top of
lamp,
people.
and there's someone as a there's someone as a Pixar
Couple's
lamp.
costume. It's a Pixar lamp and then the ball that it jumps on.
And like jumping on their partner.
Yeah, why not? That sounds totally normal and healthy.
That sounds like a costume Zay and I would do, because I am so much shorter than Zay. Zay would be the lamp, and I would be like the little tiny ball.
Jumping on top of your head.
No, Zay would absolutely jump on top of me and try to kill me.
All right, we have a costume idea if we have to go to any parties together.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Let's
This has
go.
been a very useful stream already. Yeah, so you're bouncing. There's Alco. Yeah, and like as you're like bouncing, you do lose sight of Van. Van seems to have disappeared into the crowd very
Not
quickly
good.
after being introduced to you. Yeah, very much not good.
Um,
This dark, mysterious figure has just slipped away into the crowd. And you know, hunters are pretty good at that. They're very stealthy. They've done a lot of training, but they don't have any extra skills that normal humans like you and your friends do. They do have a lot of advanced human skills. And you know, they also carry a lot of things on them. Like underneath that dark coat you saw was probably a lot of charms, definitely some wooden stakes, holy water.
Is there a dove under his magnificent hat?
There
For
you
the
don't
lore, you know.
yeah, for the Lord. You don't know what's under their hat. Could be anything. Probably something dangerous.
Dangerous.
Like a pigeon. Instead of a dove.
Oh.
Pigeon's the most dangerous bird.
It's commonly known. Yeah, so I think Frankie is definitely gonna get out of the bounce house and go grab everybody else, which we decided during the break, this is the time that we're gonna use the player conspire thing that my mom did with channel points, and we're going to kick Zay. Not from the call, because that would mess up the overlay, but you have to take off your headphones and walk away for 5 minutes while the rest of us in character conspire against
Yeah,
this
I wrote a
monster.
game. And I asked some of my favorite people in the world to play it with me, and they were like, "Actually, we don't want to play it with you. We're gonna make you leave."
For 5 minutes, come on.
All right. Well, I then channel. I'm going to go plot my revenge for this slight against me. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
All right, sounds good. I'm starting the timer now.
Okay. Bo is going to like drift up to everybody else and be like, "This is terrible. There's no game that involves rattling, wailing, moaning. I've had to keep all of that in."
We don't
I
have
have-
time. We don't have time for this, Bo. Something horrible is happening. Even more horrible than that. Van Helsing is here, and he knows that I'm here, and I think he must know that some of you are here.
Is it Van Helsing Sr. or Van Helsing Jr.? Because Van Helsing Jr. is attorney in Michigan. We don't need to worry about him.
I think it's probably not that one.
Oh, that's not good. We need to go inside.
Should we all just go into our apartment and lock
And lock the door.
Does Van Helsing know how to open doors?
Junior was not very good at open doors. That's why he attorney. Senior, however, good at everything.
And I suppose that's not going to work.
Is he dangerous on his own, or does he use any sort of implements or tools?
He
uses everything.
Lots of tools, yeah. I heard he has a pigeon under his hat.
Oh!
That's the most dangerous bird.
Is there anything shocking that we could determine to be canonically true in the next 3 minutes?
Hang on, I have device.
I think Frankie is like, maybe we could dig a big pit and cover it up and try to lure him to fall into the pit.
Maybe Jacko could help us? He did offer anything that we needed.
That's true.
No, he's wearing sock with sandal. He cannot be trusted.
He's unhinged. He'll do anything.
Yes, let's. What are humans weak to?
I mean, if Van Helsing has any tools that he needs in order to hunt, I could maybe take them. I've been wanting to take something all night, and I haven't. I've held off because we're out here.
Oh, I have a perfect idea. We'll pretend to attack Jocko, and then we'll lure Van Helsing there, but then, Bo, you can steal his tools and we'll all run away.
That is not a good idea. I have a better idea. We move.
No, but I've lived
I don't remember a time when I haven't been in this apartment complex, Alco.
I've lived
You
here my
move
whole
with
life.
us. We'll just dig up apartment and then move it somewhere else.
But that's gonna mess everything up because right now we're number 666, and I think a lot of the residents are not gonna want to have to move to somewhere that's gonna have a different number.
No, that is true.
Spike?
Yes, Spike, please have thing.
I think we should steal his stuff.
What if I try to steal the stuff before he attacks us?
That's a good plan.
I think that would be best.
Well, you said to do it when we lured him, so...
I was thinking that we could run away or something. I don't know. I was just excited about getting Jocko involved.
I could stab him.
I could eat him, but he's not going to taste good.
I could throw him in a lake.
These are all viable options.
Oh. And I could watch all these things happen, and that sounds nice to me.
Okay, so I think what we'll do is you'll steal his things from him, and then Alco will bite him, and then Spike will stab him, and then I'll throw him into a lake.
That sounds good. Or Bo could possess him. Do you have that power?
Oh, I haven't done something like that in so long. I could try.
Let us go with try possess and then steal weapon.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds fun.
So we might just we're just winging it then.
Wait. If I...
What
happens if it works?
We got nothing done in that 5 minutes.
Beautiful character work, though.
I absolutely cannot wait to watch the VOD back and see what happened in these 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but we literally did nothing.
We did a lot.
Excellent.
We did something.
Excellent.
We did something.
Still feel like it was probably the best 5 minutes. But let's see if we can top it. So, I assume the four of you are.
I mean, yes, Huck helping us? Jesus.
Yeah,
Huck is off having a great time,
I do
interacting
think-
with people, being normal.
I do think I didn't. So for the 5 minutes, obviously, I didn't grab Huck because you weren't there to be Huck.
Wouldn't be there.
But I do think after the four of us talk, Frankie was going to be like, we should get Huck. Because like if you're like at a party and then you find out someone there is a serial killer, you wouldn't be like, oh,
Yeah,
we're not.
you
gonna...
want to tell your roommate.
Our other roommate, that's fine. They could kind of just handle it. Let 'em
Yeah,
walk
well,
home
and
alone
I
at
mean,
night.
there are lots of people here too,
Yeah.
from your apartment building. So
Oh, we should spread the word.
Yeah.
yeah,
Start a whisper campaign.
might help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the four of you are huddled together. Where are you? Where have you been having this discussion at? Was this outside the bouncy?
Behind the bounce house.
Yeah, we behind the bouncy house where like the fan is to try to so like people couldn't hear
Excellent.
us talking.
Excellent.
I had to keep like pulling. Bo kept like floating back,
Oh.
almost getting sucked into the fan. I had to keep like
Hold
pulling.
me by the net.
Yeah, I grabbed the fish
A
net. pulling.
piece of the fishnet did get caught and got like chopped.
A ripped fish net, even sexier, you know?
What's
You know,
sexy
you
about
have-
fishnets? Ripped fishnets.
Bo, you have to see a lot of fishnets tonight. So you think you've done one thing right?
I know what humans dress like, you know?
Absolutely. I actually think it's Huck that finds you. And it's what interrupts this little huddle is when Huck is like, there you are. What are you doing back here?
I
Planning?
Mhm.
I do not like the sound of that.
Well, you're not gonna like the sound of the next thing I have to say either, because guess who's here? Van Helsing,
Oh.
Senior.
Seri-
Yeah, it's not Junior. Junior is still attorney in Michigan. I told everyone beforehand.
There's a hunter here.
There is Hunter here, and this one know how to open doors.
The best thing about
First
saying
Hey,
plan was
you
that we were
know-
gonna go inside, but that was next when we knew he would open the door and come after us.
Yeah, they can open doors. They're like people. Like, but tough. They can open doors.
Van
That's not-
Helsing Jr. cannot open door. It's why he became
That
attorney.
cannot be true.
It is true. We met. We dated for a little bit.
I absolutely believe that. Not even a question. He can't open doors.
He can't open doors. It's weird.
It's
a weird
hard.
ailment.
It's hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, not everyone can open doors, guys. Let's keep that in mind.
Okay. We cannot. If there's really, you're sure this isn't like
If
somebody
someone's
dressed
doing
up as
something bad, you shouldn't make fun of them for something like not being able to open doors. Make fun of them for the thing that's bad about them, because they're never gonna see it. But your friend who can't open doors, they're gonna see it.
Yeah. Make fun of him for being a lawyer.
Make fun of him for being attorney.
Yeah.
That
Are
is
you sure
truly
you saw?
evil.
Are you sure that you saw a hunter and not just somebody that dressed up as a
No,
hunter?
I was introduced.
Okay, that is bad news. We gotta
We
not
have a plan.
be here.
Don't worry about it.
We have a plan.
Oh, that's gonna make me worry.
Oh, we're gonna start a whisper campaign to everybody else to get the word out for the building.
That's not horrible.
Yeah, you do that, and then we'll enact our plan.
Wait, I thought the plan was the whisper campaign.
The plan
No.
is for you to do the whisper campaign.
You start the whisper campaign.
Okay, I like that idea. I say we do that and we get everybody inside.
And then the plan.
Do you want to let me in on the plan?
I don't think we can.
Okay, I do not like that.
It'll compromise the plan.
I'm liking it less with every sentence you say.
But Huck, if
but
you know the plan, you'll be in more danger. And if you know the plan, then God forbid if you got grabbed by Van Helsing, he could get the information out of you. So the fewer people who know the plan, the better.
Go ahead and give me a charm roll here.
Okay.
I'll say Frankie since you're leading this here.
All right. I got a 7.
We'll give you. Okay, excellent. I was gonna say we'll give you a +1 too because other people are helping out, but
that's an 8 then.
Damn.
It doesn't matter either way.
I think Frankie has these put on fake eyelashes for the Maryland, and so is batting her eyelashes at Huck, and just big doe eyes. Her eyes are 2 different colors, but that's and different sizes. That's fine.
So cute.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that kind of works a little bit for Huck, and what really works is that this is dangerous and we do need to get people off the street.
Yeah.
So Huck is all right, listen, please do not enact any kind of plan until we get everybody inside. How about no plan, but help me get everyone inside, and then I'll help with whatever plan you've got. Okay, I'm gonna go start telling people to get inside.
Sure.
I don't know if that's because you still haven't figured out how to wink yet, or if you're lying to me. But either way, I'm gonna go. I gotta go. We gotta tell people right away. So Huck runs off to start warning people. It's a little bit of she kind of hunches over. It's a little bit of a loping run.
Oh,
tell-
that's fun.
We
You can tell she wants to get
now.
out.
Now the plan.
But we can't see the wink because you have a lampshade over your head.
I'm going to go shuffle into the bushes. And I'm gonna shuffle off every bit of clothing that is attached to me into the bushes.
Good.
And I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna look like a normal person standing there who's just at this function. And what do I look like, Taylor? What do I look like to Frankie?
To Frankie, I think you look like an 8-year-old probably who's with a lot of candy, like you know how kids eat something and then it's just all around their mouth is blue. I think that's what you look like.
Yeah, if you went to a Halloween function, you would just your eyes would slip off of that kid because it's just that's a kid eating a lot of candy there.
Yeah,
that's just that's a person. That's a person over there.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the plan. And I want to drift off into the crowd, just not really touching anybody. I'm going to try to find Van Helsing wherever they are.
Okay. It's an interesting one. Go ahead and give me, because I do want to make this a roll.
Stealth is something that is a strength of mine.
Stealth is, yeah.
I don't have earthly things weighing me down right now.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. I think finding someone in a crowd is it's a mundane human experience. So I'm going to call this mundanity. But yeah, you do have a +1 because you're trying to do it kind of stealthily. You're trying not to be seen.
All of those dice.
It's so funny that Melanie was like, I only have to roll one, but I'm gonna pick the color and then roll like 20.
Yeah, I made a game where you only need 3 dice.
I picked out a bunch of beautiful sets that I have, and it happened to be 7 sets, and I was like, oh, a lucky number, because we're watching Haunting of Hill House right now, and there's a thing with 7s, and I was like, oh, this is perfect for ghosts. I'm doing this. I got an 8, so +1.
Excellent.
9.
Excellent. Yeah, so you are like drifting through this crowd. You don't really have to worry about not jostling anyone because it's not really a thing. You have to work to do that. You are trying, I think, not to go through people directly because you've been warned not to do that again. So you're kind of, but like, you know, a shoulder, a hand, that's fine. People get weird chills. It's normal. You're just kind of drifting through, like occasionally drifting up a little bit to see over the heads of everyone, and people who turn to like see you're just like, oh, a really tall person. So I can't remember what they look like now. And then they look back and you're not there. And you do spy Van over by, I think you catch a glimpse of someone you think is Van, and you catch a glimpse of what you is Van for sure, but then like disappear in the crowd again. This is someone who's like very hard to track, but eventually you do catch them take a little snack break at one of the tables. I think they're eating one of Frankie's little pumpkin pies.
I want to catch them where they're facing away from me. And the thing that we talked about while you weren't on the call is a thing that I probably haven't done in a very long time is possess a person. And I would like to try to do that now to Van Helsing.
Okay. I do love that you just tried to do a thing that I have like no rules for in this game. So you're really putting it to the test. But hey, chat, viewers, that's how this game works. It's a one-page RPG. The rules are simple. Make it up if you need to. Yeah, let's have you roll. I think I'm gonna make this prowess, even though that's supposed to be physical skill. You're gonna have to do a little bit of it's gonna take some work to like possess someone. You have to get used to like limbs again. That's weird.
Sure.
So yeah, give me a prowess roll.
Okay. That gives me a -1.
I will. Yeah, you shouldn't have any -1 because I don't have any to do. You
So you roll a
actually give
d4 for it.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's your weakest, you roll a d4. I will give you a +1 because the spookiness. One of your strengths is spookiness. I think possessing someone pretty fucking spooky.
Okay. I rolled a 2, and I get that +1. I already used my other +1.
Oh, did you?
Oh.
Can I forfeit a +1?
It's happened before. there's precedent. I'm fine. It's up to you, Zay.
It's fine if you don't want to allow that, because I do have a plan B.
God, both options are fun to see. You know, if there's precedent and if Cass is fine with it.
There's precedent.
then...
Also, Tisha just tipped 100 bits, which is it's 200 to give someone a +1, but I'll say for the benefit of the game, that's the rule-breaking 100 bits. Oh, gee, I'm just kidding. Tisha just did another 100 bits. So, Cass, you don't even have to do.
Cass, keep yours.
You can keep
Okay.
yours. Then...
Thank you, Captain.
Yeah, thank you, Captain Freestar.
And I get a 4.
You get a 4. Yeah, what does it look like and how does it feel when you possess a person again?
I just kind of sidle up behind them as if like another person wanting to look at the food there, and then just kind of like ease into them as if someone's easing into like a hot bath. And I go into like the limbs and like all the extremities, like someone putting on a glove where you kind of have to like get into there, and just kind of feel around and get like all my senses online basically. Immediately I want to go into the pockets that he has and just like start taking everything out of there and scattering them around.
Just right here.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna do that as I start walking away from the table.
Excellent. I mean, this is gonna draw a lot of attention because there's a bunch of people around, and also Van's carrying a lot of shit on them.
Are you gonna take off the hat?
I can. Just rip everything off.
I have a question.
I start stripping nude to get out of this family-friendly affair.
Do it! I beg. It would be amazing.
What's your question, Alex?
So I was thinking, like the whole time while this thing with Bo sneaking around, I feel like my character might like have followed them. Is that something that could have happened? Like just to see what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Spike could have
Especially
trailed
this
behind.
is the plan, so it's not like
Yeah.
Spike's
Right.
The plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Spike, I think maybe a little bit slower because Bo, can just kind of drift through the crowd.
Yeah.
And you have, you're slowing down in your old age. Bo, I'm gonna have you give me another prowess roll with a -1 this time to start getting rid of all of Van's shit. Because for a normal person, for another normal human being, it wouldn't be that hard to like get rid of their own things. You're not used to being tangible. You're not used to having physical form anymore. And also, this was never your physical form. This feels a little bit weird.
This is wild. So I have 7 dice that I rolled.
Okay.
The one that I rolled is a
wild.
4. There's 2 other 4s and the rest of them are 1s. So it's only 1s and 4s that I rolled. That's so weird. But I rolled a 4, so that's a 3 then with the minus.
Yay!
Well, 3 with the
I
-1 with
yeah,
a
I
3,
think 3
that is a
fails,
failure.
right?
No!
You were just cheering
What I
because
will
you like the drama. Yay!
Don't we
a
all?
Failure.
So I'll say you are not this is not a complete failure, but it is, you are struggling to also there's straps. Things are strapped into the jacket, and there's snaps and buttons and zippers, and very hard for you to work these kind of things. So you are you manage to pull the snaps and drop a bunch of vials of holy water that break on the ground, and you're drawing a bunch of attention now. You pull out at least one of the stakes and kind of throw that away. You do pull the hat off, and something flies away. You're not sure what it was. You can't get a good look
Oh,
at
thank
it.
God we got rid of the pigeon.
but something did fly away. You kind of toss the hat aside, but you're really having a hard time controlling this person's body, and you don't think you're going to be in there very long.
I haven't touched a button in hundreds of years.
Did you say a
I
bun?
make I make eye contact with Spike as he's walking up, and I'm just struggling with buttons,
Oh,
eyes
bun.
wide because I don't know that I need to blink. I don't have control over that.
Yeah, I think
Oh, go ahead.
I think Spike sees this and immediately is just Excuse me, you're dropping your things here. Let me help you. And he takes off his cowboy hat and just starts putting stuff into the cowboy hat.
Yes, the plan.
Yeah.
Excellent. What I will ask, what is under the cowboy hat for Spike?
Well, it was candy. Which
No,
I
but
think
I mean, what is your face and head? Like, this is exposing your face and head. What does that look like to the crowd around?
I think just entirely bandaged up, like eyes, everything. Little tufts of white hair just kind of coming through the bandages. Yeah.
You have like a bandana over.
Yeah. Can we do that?
Bandages and a bandana.
Yeah.
There might be just like the tiniest slit where I could see just one with one eye.
Mm-hmm. And a few bugs, crawling around on top. A couple of beetles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're trying to like help put stuff in. There's a crowd, like there's a ring around you, and someone's like, hey, "Do you need? Is everything okay? Do you all need help? I heard something break. We better get like everyone. I think there's glass on the ground. Everyone, back up.
Yeah. Once Bo was in Van Helsing, they have been saying to Spike, "Help! Like probably loud enough that people were hearing that."
Help.
Yeah, it's this weird raspy thing to like vocal cords back again, and you're having trouble remembering you need to bring air in.
Oh no!
No.
Smell it back out.
No.
Someone call. I don't know. Someone call an ambulance. I don't know. And like there's commotion going on now with like panic.
Frankie.
And also, I think Bo, I will say, like, especially with you struggling to remember which functions you have to do in this body, the body is starting to fight back.
Yeah, I think it's like a bucking bronco of like a situation, and it's appropriate that Spike's there being the cowboy and just watching this happen as I try to hang on and stay inside to do this thing.
I think Frankie, knowing obviously the plan, but not having followed along, is seeing the commotion, is going to jump up onto one of the tables that has like the treats and stuff and is going to very loudly clear her throat and say, "And now it's time for my special performance."
Okay. What is this performance?
She takes a deep breath and she starts going, "Happy Halloween to you. Happy Halloween to you. Happy Halloween, dear neighborhood. Happy Halloween to you." And just trying to get the attention off of Van Helsing.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt that. I was gonna make you sing the whole thing, but I need you to make
What, I have to roll for that?
Yeah. You're gonna have to make a charming roll, and unfortunately, everyone's staring at you and not in a great way.
Oh no!
And there's some murmurs going on, and I think one of your weaknesses is human cruelty.
It is. That's why.
Some
I'm
of these
so
people are not being. These murmurs don't sound great.
Frankie's bullied.
Okay. Zay, you can do with this as you will. You could just have me forego this roll, because I will say Captain Freestar gives with one hand and takes away with the other. Just tipped 1,000 bits and says, "I want to see this end in disaster," because it's too funny.
I am so glad that so many people in the chat just want chaos. I am thriving right now. This is amazing.
So I'll say if you want me to just not roll and you dictate whatever happens, I'm fine with that. Or if you want me to roll and then the chaos comes in later, whatever happens happens.
There's so many options here. Let's just go ahead and have you roll,
Okay.
because you did actually sing. So let's go ahead and have you roll
Okay.
that -1, see what you get, and then
I
regardless.
got a 3, but with a -1, that is a 2. So already doesn't. I think the thing that spoils the effect is that as soon as everyone's eyes are on her, just the big tears again.
Yeah.
As Frankie realizes that people don't like this performance. So she's
no.
still singing, but at the end when she's like, "Happy Halloween to you," there's just like big tears on the table, like it's visibly like wet from her crying.
Yeah. It started off okay, and people weren't hating it. But yeah, the tears kind of a mood killer, and then there was like a little hiccup in between one of the lines, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just people. There's a lot of mumbling, and it's not good mumbling. And like, yeah, unfortunately, I think your singing career is over before it really gets started.
Oh.
Jumped down off the table and just
and
sobbing.
also even worse is that a lot of people are getting just deep secondhand embarrassment and have just turned away because they're like, I can't watch this happen. This is incredibly awkward. And when they turn around, they do see a person struggling. Gasping, help.
Oh my gosh.
I want to say, Zay, whenever you kick me out of this body, I am going to try to take things with me. So, sleight of hand taking some of the things that I couldn't get him to throw away.
I do want to interject that Alco at this point has given up on like ever getting out of this situation alive, and is like in the process of just grabbing a steak and like holding it over his heart.
Oh my god!
Like, let's just get it over with. I'll do it myself at this point.
Yeah, and I still have a complication.
Yeah.
To enact. Thank you again, Captain Freestar.
What kind of stuff did I get from Van Helsing?
Oh, you have some weird like tinctures. You can't really identify. There's a bunch of religious symbols in there too.
Okay.
And just like there's a cross. There's a Star of David. There's just so many different symbols from different religions. Some you haven't seen in a very long time. Yeah, there is definitely at least one stake in your hat.
Yeah.
And as you're kind of like looking through this, you feel like motion past you, and you just hear "Be gone" as a hand like reaches out and smacks against Van's chest. And Bo, you feel yourself just knocked out of this body, like shunted back into the world.
Okay. Can I take stuff with me?
I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, because that does require you. I'm going to say no.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that only because we established that you couldn't pull the fishnets through the door before.
Fine.
I don't think you can pull something through a body.
That's more than fair.
So,
unless I hurt him, but that's fine. That's fine. I won't.
I think you brought this one on yourself. But yes, this like hand shoves against Van's chest. And you all see two more people come out of the crowd, also dressed in these dark coats and hats and just this broody look on their faces. And they've certainly singled out Bo and Frankie and Spike, and are like looking at the three of you. I think if Alco is being so dramatic, they've definitely noticed him. And they are like looking at the four of you and it's like, well, if we're not going to do it quietly, we can do it here.
Trying to disappear. Immediately, as soon as I'm yeeted, I'm disappearing.
Give me a prowess with a +1.
That is a 4.
That is a success. So I was gonna say, what does it look like when you disappear? But I guess, what does it not look like when you disappear?
It's as if mist was like knocked out of him. Like I never was there. You know, like I'm a ghost. I'm not. I'm nowhere to be seen.
Excellent. Yes, you disappear.
It looks like this guy was just having a hard time and that Spike was trying to help out. That's what this looks like.
Except for the other two people in
sure.
who are like have pulled out stakes and are holding like handfuls of weird like necklaces and bracelets and things, like rattling with things that you know are dangerous.
I want to, while that interaction, whatever's about to happen is going on, I want to slip up next to Frankie and do my best to make my hand tangible and slip it into her hand and just like, I thought it was very good. Just try to like get her out of people's like line of sight, just kind of like,
oh, like pulling me away.
Yeah, trying to get you out of people's like line of sight and just like, you know, comforting you.
Yeah, I'm definitely appreciative, because I think it's definitely like my makeup is like completely running and everything because I'm just crying so much, and so I'm just like, thank you, Bo. I mean, it wasn't really about the performance. I was just trying to get attention away from everything, but it still, I was trying to sing, so it did still hurt my feelings.
You did very good. All these people just suck, and I think we should go home.
Yeah, I need to powder my nose.
Unfortunately, there's a couple of obstacles between you and your home. And they are looking at you very threateningly. And one of them, unfortunately for you, Frankie, has pulled out a taser.
Oh no. Electricity. Tasers, my biggest weakness. Frankie's mind is flashing back to who knows however many years ago, but the traumatic experience of being born
15 to 20
15 to 20 years ago.
You can say.
Yeah, and just now not verbally crying, but still just tears as she's looking at the taser. I think she's also looking to see if Spike managed to get a knife, because that was part of the plan.
Yeah. I was gonna mention that earlier, but I forgot.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay.
Van had a lot of knives on him. So,
yeah, okay.
I mean...
And now stage 2.
Stage 2 of the plan begins.
Yeah, you got a knife. Van had an unreasonable amount of knives, even for what they do for a living. Like, that's too many knives. You don't need that many.
Okay, I think then, I'm gonna stab Van Helsing. Spike is gonna leap through the air. Actually, yeah, he's gonna leap through the air and he's going to kick the taser out of this this hunter's hand. Just like spinning kick right into it.
And no need to roll
go
for
ahead.
that. You just
Go ahead and give me. I was waiting to see if there's more to this
Yeah.
because it seems like there's a whole big move going on here. Go ahead and give me a prowess for this.
Okay. That's a 7.
Yeah, this move shockingly works.
shockingly.
This
Uh-oh.
like
Hopefully not.
ancient, just skin and bones creature just leaps through the air, kicks this taser that goes like skittering away on the ground.
With a knife.
You're kicking with the knife, or you're holding it?
No. I mean, well, that would be cool too. I could kick holding the knife with my toes.
Knife kick.
If I do that, can I break the taser?
I'm gonna give you kicking the taser away because is part of this move stabbing Van.
It can be, yeah.
Okay, because that's where you start. You're the
Yeah.
one making the move.
Yeah, do you want me to roll again or
No.
okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stab too, I think.
Okay.
In all one fell swoop.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of like jump, just like kick. I think the person with the taser is like to your side, so you just kind of like kick out to the side to like kick this taser away. No one expected this from you. Like they're
Yeah,
worried
and
about Frankie. They're worried about Alco.
then I yeah. Never mind. Go ahead.
And then you like jump and like stab Van, who kind of like who grunts. Just recently came back into possession of their body, so they're already struggling a little bit. They're like the coat is like half off, so they're like trying to get like full use of their arms back. Like they can't get full motion. Which is how you're able to like jump in and stab them, and they go like falling to the ground.
And this was the plan.
That's okay. Okay.
This
That was the plan.
That's it. The
And
full plan has been
well,
enacted.
no,
not full plan.
Okay.
Not quite.
We have
So
step
what's the
3,
next
which
move of the plan?
I think we kick it over to Alco for step 3 of the plan.
Right now? I want to know what Van Helsing does.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're on deck.
Yeah.
Okay. So Van, the original Van, the one whose name you know, has been stabbed and has like fallen to the ground and is trying to like figure out what weapons they still have on them, what they could do. Like again, didn't have control of their limbs for a good couple of minutes, still out of breath. So they're having a time. The other two, like one you've kicked away the taser, the other one has like a stake and is like trying to get like a blowtorch going for some fire because I know that's gotta be a big thing here. But they are like advancing on all of you. So if you've got to move, Alco.
Question before I do. Can I turn people?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
We haven't established the turning lore for vampires here yet, so I'll leave that up to you as if it's, just a standard like you gotta do it with a bite but not kill them, or if it's the whole like drink some of their blood, they drink some of yours. You decide.
I'm just gonna do the standard like vampire venom thing. Like when you bite them, the venom injects, and then you got a new fun friend. So Alco is definitely going to pick Van Helsing off the ground by the back of his jacket and just sink his teeth into the back of his neck and just inject the vampire venom.
Excellent. Go ahead and give me a prowess
I can.
real quick.
With that.
We don't think this is
And-
mundane.
Yeah, it's a Halloween party thing.
Yeah, no, we're having fun.
Sierra, I haven't not seen She-Hulk.
Just like in She-Hulk?
Sierra just
I also have not seen
wild
She-Hulk, and I'm
thing
very
in chat.
concerned
I
about
need
She-Hulk.
Just like
She-Hulk
in She-Hulk,
now.
when you She-Hulk bites someone on the neck and turns them into a vampire.
Uh-huh.
Puts the She-Hulk venom
Yeah.
in them.
Yeah, that's how you get more Hulks. Yeah, I do think you have a +1 here because of your sharp bite.
Cool.
or
So
your
I have 3.
You have a
Uh,
+1 that you could still use from Xavier. I
Yeah, you
think,
didn't give it
right?
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you use that, you get to a 4,
Cool. I will use it then so we can get to a 4.
which is a success. As
Now we have a
you-
new friend.
you bite down. What a day for poor old Van.
Our new
Uh,
friend Van Helsing.
You know what? They knew what they were getting into by taking this line of work. So
They did.
part of the
They
job.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they should have done the whole like half vampire thing before. Like that's just as a safety precaution. Like if you're gonna get in this kind of work, you get turned half into a vampire, so you're like resistant. Yeah, you inject this venom. Van is like screaming or shouting and like struggling against you, but again, the jacket's like halfway off, so can't really get their arms to like fight you. And you like inject this venom. Van kind of goes like still, weak, blood draining from their face as they turn very pale, and I imagine you just kind of like drop them to the ground.
Mhm. Well, actually, I push them towards the one that has the stake that's trying to light it on fire, because fledglings are going to be hungry.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Very hungry. Xavier has an excellent question
Yes.
in chat, which I think we'll get to. Yeah. So you push Van, who then like stumbles towards this person who at the last second like turns their stake away so as not to like stab their friend, because I don't think they've caught on what has happened yet. Yeah, I think like Van is going to go in for a bite on this person, but it becomes this struggle. The two of them are kind of like at a standstill where Van's still weakened from this whole ordeal, and literally just having been turned into a vampire, suddenly dealing with this hunger, and this other person's like pushing them back, like is much bigger and stronger than Van, and so she's able to hold them back. Frankie, are you up to
I
anything?
do have a part in the plan, and it does seem like it's my turn.
Okay.
So slight change in the plan, because this was originally supposed to happen to Van Helsing, but there is a third person, right? The person who had the taser that got kicked away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Frankie is going to, kind of go over to that third person and try to pick them up. There is another part to it, but I feel like I should
Right.
see. I feel like I should roll
Right.
first to see if it works. But everyone knows what I'm gonna, except for you, Say. Everyone knows what I'm gonna be trying
Yeah.
to be doing. So is it okay if I roll prowess first? To
Yeah,
see if
go
this
ahead.
works? Okay, prowess is my
roll
weakest
prowess.
skill.
Okay. I don't think you have any strengths or weaknesses coming into play here.
Oh, I got a 1.
Mm.
So I'll tell
Oh,
you.
no.
I'll tell you what I was trying to do, and then you can. pick
Okay.
on how it goes.
Okay.
So the move was, of course, it was gonna be the first part of the plan is Bo steals as much stuff as possible, possessing Van Helsing. Part 2 and 3, I think got mixed up in the actual execution, but they were kind of interchangeable. Part 2 was Spike stabs Van Helsing. Part 3, Alco eats Van Helsing. Part 4 was supposed to be that Frankie throws Van Helsing into a lake, because that's something that Frankenstein does.
What lake? Can I ask?
Well,
on the
so
middle of
here's
the-
the thing. Frankie was looking around. There's not a lake nearby. The closest thing was she was gonna pick this person up and take him over to the place where people were bobbing for apples and just kind of drop him in there.
Gotcha.
But I did get a 1.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think you managed to pick this person up. They're like scrambling for their taser, and because I know that's going to be the biggest thing they can use against you. And you like manage to like reach down real quick, scoop them up. They're like struggling they're like trying to fight you, grab hold of you. I think you get like as close as you can and go to throw them in this like it's just a bucket
I know.
of apples, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
So you go to throw them, and you do throw them. Unfortunately, they're kicking and fighting, and so they don't go as far as you would like. And also, when you throw them, there's a loud rip sound as your right arm goes along with them.
I had a feeling.
And you are standing there now, one-armed. This person just kind of like, you can't quite throw them all the way, so they just kind of like roll on the ground for a second and then like stand up, like holding your arm.
I put my hand over my arm like somebody would if they get like caught naked or something. It's very coquettishly like, oh no. My stump.
Yeah. So we've got Van, the newly turned vampire, trying to eat this one hunter. Another hunter, like just standing up, trying to catch their balance, realizes they're just holding an arm, not their arm. What do any of the rest of you want to do? Bo, you haven't acted in a bit.
Would like to, as this all is kind of breaking bad, I'm slipping back to find Jacko. And I'm gonna find him and be like, Jacko, you said we could come to you if ever we needed help, and there's some ruffians causing mischief in this party. They've ripped off my friend's arm. Could they be possibly ejected? That doesn't seem very family friendly to me.
Yeah, Bo, give me a charm. And actually, I'm going to do something wild here. I would like every single one of you to give me a charm roll.
Okay.
Oh, that's a 6, baby.
Can I use my +1 to make it a 3? Would that succeed?
You can, but it's 4 or higher succeeds.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I got a
Is it
6.
I also got a 2.
Okay.
2 6s, 2 2s, baby.
Luckily no more ones for you all. Yeah, okay. So here's what happens. Bo, Jacko looks for you. But can't
Finds
quite.
me.
What's that?
He finds me.
Oh,
It's just kind of like,
have you turned visible again?
I'm visible, yeah.
Okay. Jacko looks at you, kind of looks past you, and like can't quite focus. And is like, yeah, no, these people are bad news. We gotta get them. We gotta get them out of here. And Alco, what does it look like when you try to charm the crowd?
It's just kind of the same thing as was before with the children. So my hair does like the Studio Ghibli thing, and my eyes are very like that acid green. I've got that aura that kind of just settles over everybody. And I'm able to just speak one word or like a couple of words. If I try to do like a long sentence, it'll just break. But the one word that I do utter is just calm.
Yeah, excellent. Half the crowd starts to like, all these people around you start to kind of like calm down. A couple people like wander off to go back to the party. Jacko and a couple of other like very concerned looking parents come up. They like pull Van off this other person and are just like, hey, break it up, break it up. I don't know what's going on here. Break it up. No fight, no more fighting here. They like go up. One person like this mom, the one who was at the snack table that Bo, I think you talked to, like marches up and just takes the arm from this other hunter as like, no taking arms from people. You have to go. And you watch as Jacko and these concerned parents start to drag like all three of these people out of here. And due to one of the things that you know about hunters is they have to avoid human casualties as much as possible. They're very limited in their options. And so for now are going to like wander. They're going to be led away. You do see Van look back at all of you with pain and hunger and a weird sense of betrayal in their face as they're dragged away.
Wait, can we keep Van?
Your sire?
Would you like to?
Yeah, I have to keep Van. I did this.
Okay. What is it you say then? As someone, I think this like big burly guy has like got an arm, like has Van like hooked an arm and is kind of dragging them away as they like walk past you. What is it you say?
No, please leave old man. That is son. I need to have him. Please give back.
They're with you?
With me. Yes, is mine. Give.
If you say so. And
Thank
like
you.
kind of let go. And like Van just looks at you like just so much emotion flooding their face as they're like trying to figure out. There's this sense of like loyalty to you, but also hatred. And also like they're very hungry all of a sudden. And can you help with that?
Yeah, Alco just gently hands him his goblet.
And Van just starts like drinking this. It's like dripping down their face.
Slow down. It's bad for you. You get stomach ache.
He's gonna like pull back, like wipe their mouth, and then just like go back to drinking it.
You get stomach ache. We feed you ginger ale later. You'll be fine. Saltines! American invention. They're good.
Jacko comes up to the like rescue, looks around for Bo, like realizes they like behind him. He must have spotted her, but doesn't like. He's back there somewhere. Looks at Frankie and Spike and is like, "You folks okay?"
Frankie just still has her hand.
I mean, I guess that was insensitive. Can I get you anything?
Oh, I'd love to have my arm back.
This woman like marches back up and like suddenly feels self-conscious about holding an arm and just like gently offers it out to you.
I take it. And I kind of turn away and like I think I have like a little sewing kit like on like I have like a garter with a sewing kit on like my upper thigh, and so I kind of go and take that and like start just kind of very like it doesn't hurt, like getting it ripped off didn't hurt, like sewing it back on doesn't hurt, but just kind of very quickly. So,
yeah, Jacko and the rest kind of delicately looks away. You hear somebody like be like, don't look. Like, you hear this voice from the crowd be like, "See, I told you they were vampires."
Oh.
I thought that was ghosts too. And there's a little like flutter of wings.
Kitchen.
The final boss.
If it weren't nearly 11,
Yeah.
absolutely, the final boss would have been the pigeon.
Pigeon grabs the child and flies away.
That'll have to be saved for next time. Yeah, Jacko lets you sew your arm back on. And then it's like turning back to the rest of the crowd. It's like, nothing to see here. Like, let's get back to the party. And I think somebody leans in and is like, I think that's the end of the party, Jacko.
Oh. Well, things shouldn't end on our account. Oh, there's still plenty of night left for wailing and hollering and other fun Halloween things.
Yes, all of us may be an indeterminate number of years old, but the night is still young.
Yeah, folks, you heard him. And Jacko and some of the others like start trying to disperse the crowd that has formed around all of you. Like somebody turns music back on. It's just the Monster Mash on loop. Like turns it up and then like stops. Is like, is that insensitive?
Da.
I mean, it depends on who you ask, different.
The only other thing on this playlist is Thriller.
Are there any zombies that live in the apartment complex? And how do they feel about
They know
Thriller?
all the moves.
Yes,
Yeah,
please,
there are
please,
zombies.
please.
There are zombies, and they do love it.
Yeah, turn on Thriller.
Thriller turns on. The zombies come out of the crowd and just start doing the moves. And the party gets going again.
The fact that like things have turned to the point where it seems like we've been made but also are accepted makes it feel like, well, maybe we can actually party now.
Yeah, I think that's how Frankie feels. I think
Yeah,
she's eyeing the bounce house again.
Yeah.
I think Spike is going to go over to Van and just pat him on the back and say, I'm sorry I had to stab you.
Weirdly, it's not the worst thing that's happened tonight.
Are you saying being made vampire is bad thing? It's good thing. You live forever now.
It's kind of a thing I dedicated my entire life to fighting.
But your son, attorney, you can be attorney now.
That's one of the other Vans.
No.
Oh, you're all called Van?
No, I got named after Van Helsing. Senior, not junior.
You got named
He sucks.
after. Who named you?
What's your last name?
I just kind of like looking like I want to keep some secrets.
Oh.
You cannot keep secrets from me. I read your mind. His last name is Donovan.
Van
Okay, I
Helsing
guess.
Donovan.
All right. Do I get to do that?
Yes, you get to do that. A very fun time. We teach later.
That doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, it's fun.
I got a lot to think about.
Oh, it's okay. You sleep with me in closet tonight. We talk.
Okay. How big's the closet?
It's very small.
Yeah, I think Huck like appears back out of the crowd is like, yeah, the whole apartment's not real big, but We can fit one more in, I guess. Jacko, I think, looks like around at you all one more time. Is like, uh, yeah. Is there? I guess something else I can get you or do for you.
I'll take your phone number now. I don't know what I'll do with it.
Oh, yeah. Jacko, like, I think just grabs like a napkin from nearby from one of the tables and like writes down his phone number, hands it over to you. Does it just fall right through your hand?
No, I'm gonna concentrate as hard as I can to hold on to it.
Okay.
And I want to then find another piece of paper, and I'm going to see what a phone number is, and I'm going to write a bunch of zeros, as many as is on that I'm seeing as part of this phone number, and then give it back to him.
Oh,
I don't know if this is a. I'm just gonna assume this is a real number.
The first number should be 8, though.
Yes.
That's true. It says 800000000.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. I don't know if this is a joke or not, but this whole night feels kind of like a joke. But hey.
I think
Go ahead.
I think Frankie was just gonna say, I mean, you're okay with all of this?
I mean, y'all aren't as good as hiding as you think you are. You turn into a bat like all the time. It's a little bit suspicious. I've seen you float through the front door.
I don't have car.
If it works, you had different eyes last time we talked.
Who, me?
Yeah. Yeah, you.
I think
Batty.
I bat my eyelashes and I say, well, nobody's perfect.
Seems like you're working on it.
I look around for Jocko's husband.
Just trying to be friendly. And you, I mean, you just wear bandages all the time. And you did tell me about watching the pyramids get built. There were a lot of details.
Old people stuff,
When did I do that?
A couple of months ago.
That's not true.
I mean, you don't have to hide it. We all know.
I'm getting such a headache.
Oh God. Oh shit.
So, look, if you all want to get back to the party, hey, you're welcome here. Like I said, try to welcome everybody. Just, you need to cut back on the drinking, both the alcohol and the rest of it.
Why? I am a delight.
Yeah, well, just try to set a better example for the kids.
I hate children.
I'm not a fan of them myself, to be honest, but we're trying to set good examples.
I feel like they've already left anyway. Someone's arm got ripped off, so...
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
I
definitely did look down at the kid and I say, hey, how do you feel about taking a ride in the old bounce house?
That'd be pretty fun.
That child is dangerous.
I'm already walking with them back to the bounce house.
Yeah, I think for a little coda, what do each of you do? Frankie, I take it you go back to the bounce house.
Absolutely.
It's you and a bunch of kids, and like nobody's gonna make you get out. Like
I take over cycling the kids through. So I'm always
good.
I act like I'm helping, but it's like I'm always in there.
Yeah.
And I always am making sure that there's like a big enough kid that I can still get bounced. So it's really vibes only. It's like, okay, you've been in here long enough. That teenager can come in here now.
Mm-hmm. What are the other three of you doing to wrap up your nights?
I think Bo is spending the rest of the night on the dance floor, just like rattling a lot and dancing around, wisping around the dance floor, just having a good time. Finally getting
you and the zombies out, just jamming the Thriller.
It's good.
Spike, Alco.
Spike is going around every pumpkin that he can find and just demolishing them in just many different ways. Like sometimes he kicks them, sometimes he throws them up in the air and then punches them, and it's just going to town, just having a blast, just smashing pumpkins.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god!
Something of a Billy Corgan.
Yeah, Billy Corgan walks up and says something.
There is someone in a Billy Corgan costume.
They just have a bald cap on.
He kind of looks like him a little bit, too.
Like a little bit.
He walks up to you and is like, "Today is the greatest."
And also, I have some theories on vaccines that I'd like to share with you.
Alco, what are you and Van doing to wrap up your party?
Van and I are chasing the little child around, not maliciously, but like more just having fun. It started out maliciously. But now it's just more for funsies.
I think it was chasing him, and then when you finally did catch him, he was like, "Okay, I'm it now. Better one."
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So
and yes, so we just see, like, we pan out from Frankie, like, bouncing on this bounce castle, ducking a little bit to not hit her head. We kind of like pan over and watch Spike just like punching a pumpkin right in front of this Billy Corgan guy. To Bo, like, just mixing it up on the dance floor, humans and zombies alike. Alco and Van and Nib go running through one way and then running back the other way. And then we like kind of pan out from this lovely, fun party scene. And that, boils and ghouls, is Halloween.
Woo! That was so
Happy
much
Halloween.
fun. We're
so
gonna
much
go
fun.
around one last time in case you missed the other times we talked about ourselves, and let you know where else you can find us, that kind of thing. And I'm gonna start us off. If you're just coming in or you just caught the second half, my name's Taylor. You can find me on Twitter at @RollForFelicity. And you can follow that account on Twitter so that you can see what other stuff I have going on. And then also, if you want to see previous VODs of games that I've done, you can go on YouTube, youtube.com, search @RollForFelicity, and you'll find stuff there. And I'll throw it over to Melanie. What else do you have going on? Where can people find you?
I don't got anything going on.
All right.
This is what I have going on.
We'll move on.
I put it in the chat where you can find me is it at Melanie? I think it is. Or is that Lemony Drews? I'm not sure.
Lemony Drews.
At Lemony Drews.
Yeah, at
Twitter,
Lemony Drews on Twitter. I'm often on Taylor's stream here. I would promote buying this game and playing this game. You should do those things. I feel like there's something else I wanted to say and I don't remember. Oh, this isn't a promotion, but I just wanted to say tomorrow I'm going over to Taylor's and she's going to make spooketti and creep balls for me and my partner. And I just feel like everyone should know about
and
that.
Melanie and her partner don't know what that is. I've not said.
I have an idea.
You might be surprised.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, Alex. What else do you have going on? Where can people find you?
Yeah, so like I said, I've got a website, Comfort Noise Music, and you can go on there and submit some things that you want a song to be like for like a podcast or anything, and I just take that form and I'll contact you and we'll work something out if you want something, or if you know someone who is looking for music for pretty much anything. I can help. So yeah.
Also, I don't think I mentioned this, but everyone's links are in chat right now for music or Twitters or whatever else. Cass, what else do you have going on? Where can people find you?
Still ain't got nothing going on. So I do art and writing commissions. I am also on TikTok at Laurit's Key, where you can see the 50-foot Furby that I have in the back of my car and the wall of possums that are just there.
I have met the 50-foot Furby in person, and it is amazing. You should go check it out.
Yep. Love your friends. Be gay, do crime. Bye. Totally not human roommates. Totally human roommates. Totally normal human roommates.
Yeah, there we go.
Buy that.
Yeah, Zay, that just leaves it to you. What else do you have going on? Where can people find you?
Yeah, I've been Zay. I want to say real quickly, thank you all to the chat and viewers for watching along, and to anyone who donated for giving me so much excellent fodder. I love you all. This was amazing stream. Also, thank you to all of you for playing this ridiculous game with me and humoring me. If you enjoyed this ridiculous game, you can buy it for yourself. It's $2. You can get it on my itch page, wildjblue.itch.io. I also have a couple other games up there. I'm hoping to get another one out before the end of the year. We'll see if that happens or not. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want to see me make weird jokes or talk about the games that I make, and that is also at wildjblue on Twitter.
Yeah, I think with that, I am going to take us over to our credits screen to wrap up with chat. I'm going to leave the Zoom call if you all want to hang out for just a couple minutes so I can give you a proper goodbye. That would be great. If you have to go, I understand. But with that being said, do you all want to say goodbye to chat and goodbye to the YouTube VOD?
Bye, friends.
Goodbye.
Goodbye,
boys
goodbye.
and girls.